Chapter 950. A Heartless and Disloyal Villain. Hey! What nonsense are you spouting? Lu Ru stood up angrily. Anai Yang slightly raised her eyebrows and retorted, Isn't respecting the elderly and loving the young a traditional Chinese virtue? Isn't abandoning one's wife and snatching someone else's husband heartless? Am I making this up? You don't understand. My parents had their reasons. They are not heartless people. Lu Ru couldn't stand Anai Yang's sarcastic comments about her parents. Men, how many are not flirtatious? Having 3 wives and 4 concubines is quite normal. Besides, her dad did not have many women. He was involved with only 2 in total. And being born in troubled times, they were involuntary in their actions. Why did Anai Yang have to rub salt in the wounds? Was that satisfying? Anai Yang smiled faintly and spoke indifferently, Miss Lu, I didn't specifically name anyone. Why are you in such a hurry to take it personally? Throughout, she had not mentioned Jiao Wentong and Lu Qinian at all. It was Lu Ru who was in a hurry to take it personally. Stifled, Lu Ru's face turned red, overwhelmed with anger. Jiao Wentong turned to look at Lu Ru, his face wearing a smile, seemingly unaffected by Anai Yang's words. Yang is truly a clever girl, and so beautiful like a fairy. No wonder my sister likes you so much. Who wouldn't like such a girl? Unlike our Xiaoru here, honest and simple, clumsy as a bear. Honest and simple Lu Ru was no match for Anai Yang. Even if Anai Yang sold Lu Ru off, Lu Ru wouldn't know. Jiao Wentang's comment was still a hidden jab, potentially deeply wounding. Unfortunately, Anai Yang wore a coat of armor today and took Jiao Wentang's praise without hesitation. Thank you for the compliment, Auntie. I think so too. Jiao Wentong choked. How could she respond to that? That wretched girl. She wanted to mock Anai Yang but ended up praising her instead. Jiao Wentong wished she could slap herself several times. Keep your mouth in check. Absolutely infuriating. Zhao Shuyue suppressed the urge to laugh and came out from the inner room with a piece of pure white cloth and handed it to Anai Yang. Yang, I've repaired the embroidery you asked me to do. Is this all right? Though Zhao Shuyue was old, her eyesight was still excellent. She often helped Anai Yang with embroidery and mending, and Anai Yang never refused Zhao Shuyue's assistance. She even frequently sought her help. Zhao Shuyue, with her bound feet, couldn't do heavy chores, and being elderly, lacked the strength, so she mostly engaged in sewing and mending. Anai Yang didn't want Zhao Shuyue to feel her life had lost its purpose. So she often sought Zhao Shuyue's help, allowing her to live a fuller life. And moderate embroidery, maintaining some mental activity, could also prevent dementia. Zhao Shuyue was also happy to help Anai Yang. Only during embroidery did she truly enjoy life. Anai Yang looked at the embroidery and saw the lifelike stitches on the white cloth. The embroidery was exquisitely done. Zhao Shuyue deserved her reputation as a maiden trained in an affluent household. Her embroidery skills were impeccable. Grandma Zhao, your embroidery is so beautiful. Anai Yang praised generously. Zhao Shuyue smiled. Not at all, you just like to flatter me. Anai Yang said, It's truly beautiful. I couldn't learn this craft no matter how many times I tried. Under Jiao Wentang's eye signal, Lu Ru came over and said in surprise, Auntie, at your age, why do you still do such handicraft work? It's so harmful to the eyes. Why don't you come back with us? I promise you won't have to do a thing. We'll treat you to the best of foods and take good care of you, allowing you to live a life like a fairy. Anai Yang was really heartless, using Zhao Shuyue's bracelets and spending Zhao Shuyue's money, yet still making Zhao Shuyue work for her. How could there be such shameless people as Anai Yang in this world? Lu Qinian stood up and said, Xiaoru is right, this embroidery is too straining on the eyes, it's not suitable for you. Shuyue, you should come back with us. We have a nanny at home who can take care of you specially. Moreover, it's not convenient for you in the countryside. If you want to buy something, you have to go to town. We live in the city center now. You can buy whatever you want, eat whatever you want. Besides, the countryside is not as lively as the city. Later, let Xiaoru keep you company in Beijing city center, and then we can all go to Taiwan Island. Chapter 951. A Heartless and Ungrateful Wretch. _4. Bay Island is an island where it's spring all year round, and the scenery is picturesque. There are many fruits and seafood here that you can't find in Beijing. I think you'd definitely fall in love with the place. Lu Qinian had figured it out. This and Yang might have known about the village with the treasure map all along, which is why she deliberately got close to Zhao Shuyue, to win Zhao Shuyu's favor. What's most important now is to get Zhao Shuyue out of here as soon as possible, to leave Yang, this person with ulterior motives, empty-handed. Zhao Shuyue didn't pick up on the hidden meaning in the father and daughter's words and said with a smile, "Although I'm getting on in years, I'm not blind. Embroidering a little flower is no big deal. No golden sand or silver nest compares to my own dog kennel. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in Jinghua village." No matter how good Bay Island may be, it's not the place that gave birth to her or raised her. She feels no attachment to that place and has no desire to pine for it. When you get old, you just want to settle down to your roots, not to wander back and forth, drifting everywhere. Won't you be without anyone to take care of you if you stay here? Lu Qinian asked earnestly. Bay Island is really very nice, Shuyue. I couldn't follow you around when we were young, but I truly hope you'll give me a chance to make it up to you. Besides, we're husband and wife who have taken our wedding vows. Husband and wife are one body. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is yours. He said it with such artfulness. I don't need anyone to take care of me, Zhao Shuyue continued. Besides, I've gotten by just fine without you for 60 years. But what if you meet with some accident while you're alone? What then? Lu Qinian countered. Zhao Shuyue said with a smile, if something happens, there's still Yang. Don't look down on Yang for being young. Her medical skills are very good. How is it Yang again? Lu Qinian was infuriated but couldn't show it. How can we always trouble comrade Yang? After all, we are the real family. Family? Lu Qinian had abandoned Zhao Shuyue for 60 years, and now he had the nerve to say such a thing. Does he still want to have his cake and eat it too? Yang responded indifferently, Uncle, rest assured, since I call Grandma Zhao Grandma, I don't consider her an outsider. As long as she is willing, I will take care of her until the end of her days. Yang's words were meant to show Lu Qinian that Zhao Shuyue was not a poor, lonely old lady without anyone to rely on. If Zhao Shuyue really went with Lu Qinian, given the characters of Jiao Wentong and Lu Ru, would she have good days ahead? Not a chance. Hearing this, Zhao Shuyue looked at Yang, her eyes slightly moist. The feeling of having younger generations to rely on was really wonderful. If it weren't for Yang, she wouldn't have had such strong confidence to face Lu Qinian. At least, she wasn't alone now. Lu Qinian was choked up again. Take care of her until the end of her days? Why should Yang take care of Zhao Shuyue until the end of her days? Does she have even a scent of relationship with Zhao Shuyue? She's clearly eyeing Zhao Shuyu's gold mine. Lu Qinian had lived a good half of his life but had never seen anyone as shameless as Yang, managing to make greedy avarice sound so refined and noble. Zhao Shuyue is a fool to have been deceived by such a young girl. Such are her ways, yet she claims to be from a rich family. Truly, she's tarnished the Lu family's reputation completely. Noticing the uneasy atmosphere, Jiao Wenong smoothed things over with a smile. Big sister has lived here for so many years. It's normal for her to not want to leave for the time being. Don't worry, if you don't wish to return, we won't force you. Our family's door is always open to you, and you're welcome to return whenever you want. Jiao Wenong was a smart person. She knew not to push too hard at this moment. She was making a strategic retreat. After all, Zhao Shuyue, that old hag, had in her hands a treasure map worth a fortune. She needed to coax Zhao Shuyue for now. Once she got that treasure map, she would make Zhao Shuyue regret her actions today. Zhao Shuyue nodded in agreement. The three members of the Lu family stayed with Zhao Shuyue for a long time, and when they left in the evening, they insisted on leaving Lu Ru to take care of Zhao Shuyue. But she refused them. In the car, Jiao Wenong expressed her worries. Haoshan, big sister seems to be rather guarded against us now. Lu Qinian sighed. Well, take it slow. Jiao Wentong was anxious. How could he not be? But what could be done in haste? With that, Lu Qinian added, in the future, let's come here every day. I refuse to believe Zhao Shuyu's heart is made of stone. It will warm up eventually. Chapter 952. A Heartless and Ungrateful Wretch. _5. Wenong nodded. Lu Ru frowned and said, Mom is really getting senile, even though we're her real family, yet she favors Ni Yang so much. I spent the whole day talking to her, and she didn't even give me a single strand of her hair. And to think she gave our family heirloom to Ni Yang. Wentong patted Lu Ru on the hand. Xiaoru, don't worry, Mom and Dad won't let anyone take your things. Getting the bracelet back was just a matter of time. As the car slowly moved along, Wentong suddenly caught sight of a very familiar figure while passing by a house. Wentang's pupils contracted. Was that Zhao Qin, Grandma Zheng? Yes, it was her, no doubt. Why would Grandma Zheng be here? Wenong clenched her fists. Mom, what's wrong? Lu Ru, noticing that Wenong seemed a bit off, asked with concern. Wentong smiled and looked away. Oh, nothing, I just suddenly remembered something about your brother. He's not young anymore and he still doesn't have a girlfriend. Lu Ru laughed. So, Mom wants to hold a grandchild. It's not just your mom, I want to hold a grandchild too, Lu Qinian added. But that's not urgent right now, let's first deal with the matters at hand. Wenong nodded. All the way, Wenong was restless. Why was Grandma Zheng here? She hadn't forgotten that Grandma Zheng was the indirect murderer who killed Dr. Jiang and Zheng Lingling. Zheng Xianjing was still in prison, and Wenong had thought about visiting several times, but she couldn't find a proper reason. She had no relation to Xianjing, visiting would only raise suspicions. Yet, if she didn't go, she would be restless. After all, Xianjing was the only bloodline Lingling had left in this world. After returning, Wentong had someone investigate Grandma Zheng. The response she got was that Grandma Zheng had moved from the city to her daughter's house in the countryside. Could it be that the house she had just passed was Grandma Zheng's daughter's? Wentong sat in front of the dressing table with her eyebrows tightly furrowed. What's wrong, Wentong? Lu Qinian asked as he came out of the bathroom after his shower. Wenong shook her head. It's nothing, I'm just a bit worried that we might be fooled by Ni Yang and she might have already gotten her hands on the treasure map before us, especially since she's already been given our family's heirloom bracelet. That shouldn't be the case, Lu Qinian replied. The stuff in that gold mine is worth a fortune. If Ni Yang had already gotten the treasure map, she wouldn't still be living in the countryside, she would have likely moved to the city by now. A place in the countryside with underdeveloped transport and lacking everything, why would Ni Yang stay in the village if she had the means to move? Wenong nodded, that makes sense. De Ming Xian. After using the Ice Skin Jade product for 5 straight days, the condition of Du Jiaojiao's skin had improved unbelievably. The acne was gone, the skin was no longer dry, and while it hadn't yet reached the smoothness of a freshly peeled egg, it was no longer peeling like it was before, a night and day difference from her previous skin condition. She believed that if she used it for a few more days, her skin would be radiantly moist. Jiao Jiao looked at herself in the mirror, delighted, and started to ferociously kiss the Ice Skin Jade product's packaging. This was incredible. From now on, she no longer needed to plaster layers of foundation on her face. When Liao visited Jiao Jiao at noon, she was also a little shocked. Jiao Jiao, what skincare product have you been using? Your skin has recovered so quickly, and even the acne is gone. And, maybe it was just her imagination, but Liao felt like Jiao Jiao seemed to have become much fairer than before. What skincare product could be this effective? Jiao Jiao smiled and said, it's the Ice Skin Jade product that the beautiful lady gave me. I didn't expect the effects to be this good at first. Liao was somewhat incredulous. Really? The set of domestic skincare that the beautiful lady gave you on your birthday? At that time, the most famous domestic skincare product was the Snowflake Cream from Shanghai, but Snowflake Cream didn't have such effects. The Ice Skin Jade product wasn't even half as famous as Snowflake Cream. Could its effects really be that impressive? It was incredible. Jiao Jiao nodded. Yes, the one from my birthday. Liao remained skeptical. Jiao Jiao, are you sure you haven't used any other skincare products these past few days? I haven't, Jiao Jiao replied. I specifically didn't use anything else to see if the Ice Skin Jade product was really as good as the beautiful lady said, and indeed she was right, it's downright magical. Chapter 953. A Heartless and Ungrateful Wretch. _6. Du Jiaojiao was now regretting not heeding Ni Yang's advice sooner. Bring over that set of skincare products the beauty sent you, and let me take a look, Li Yao continued. Sure thing. Du Jiaojiao quickly ran back to her room and brought over the Ice Muscle Jade skin set. Li Yao took the Ice Muscle Jade skin, studying it carefully. First of all, the aesthetics of these bottles and jars were quite impressive. They looked refreshing and smelled nice. There wasn't any of that irritating odor. You should call the beauty and ask where she bought these. I want to get a set too. Seeing the great results on Du Jiaojiao, it was impossible not to be moved. Li Yao was a doctor, and she could tell that these skincare products didn't contain any of those messy harmful substances. They might actually be useful, but I don't know the Bowtie's home phone number. Just then, Grandfather Du happened to walk in, and Li Yao whispered, Maybe you could ask Grandfather Du? Li Yao felt a kind of inexplicable fear towards Grandfather Du, so she didn't dare to ask him herself. Just as Du Jiaojiao was about to say that Grandfather Du definitely wouldn't know Ni Yang's home number, she swallowed her words and looked up. Third brother, what's the Bowtie's phone number? Beauty. Grandfather Du was taken aback for a moment. Oh, you mean Yang Yang, Du Jiaojiao explained. So it was Ni Yang. The nickname was rather fitting. Do you need her for something? Grandfather Du asked. Du Jiaojiao explained the situation with the Ice Muscle Jade skin, and then Grandfather Du effortlessly rattled off a string of numbers. Du Jiaojiao was stunned. So Grandfather Du knew Ni Yang's home phone number. That was truly surprising. After getting Ni Yang's number, Du Jiaojiao hurriedly made the call. Beauty, that Ice Muscle Jade skin you gave me last time is incredibly good. By the way, where is the store that sells Ice Muscle Jade skin located? Don't mention it, you can find the Ice Muscle Jade skin store in the department store, but Ni Yang didn't finish her sentence before Du Jiaojiao interrupted her. Okay, thank you so much, Yang Yang. We're going to buy some now. After the call ended, Du Jiaojiao dragged Li Yao out the door. Ni Yang looked at the hung-up phone, sighed helplessly. She had wanted to tell Du Jiaojiao that the limited edition Ice Muscle Jade skin wasn't necessarily available at the department store, but Du Jiaojiao had hung up too quickly. Wanting to prevent Du Jiaojiao from making a fruitless trip, Ni Yang dialed again. The phone was quickly answered. Sister Jiaojiao, you hung up too fast. It's me. A man's voice came through. It was as gentle as the spring breeze. Ni Yang was startled, then realized, Is that you, Big Brother Du? Where is Sister Jiaojiao? Grandfather Du glanced toward the door. She's gone out. That fast? Ni Yang was surprised, then said, Then, please, can you pass on a message for me? Meanwhile, Du Jiaojiao and Li Yao discovered just how precious the Ice Muscle Jade skin set was once they arrived at the actual store. Not only did they need a membership card, but they also had to make a reservation months in advance, otherwise, it was impossible to buy. Each store only had a few dozen sets available each month. Li Yao was extremely disappointed, but luckily, the salesperson recommended a few other Ice Muscle Jade skin products that weren't limited editions. On the way back, Li Yao was downcast. With just over 10 days left before she left Beijing, where could she wait for 10 more days? If only there were Ice Muscle Jade skin stores in Shen City. Why were all the good things in Beijing? Du Jiaojiao comforted her. Don't worry, Li Yao. I'll still be accompanying my third brother here for over half a year. When the time comes, I will send it to you. Li Yao replied weakly, That is if you can get it. Now Du Jiaojiao was at a loss for words and sighed, I don't know how the beauty managed to get them. She's truly amazing. The two returned to Deming Pavilion, dejected. Grandfather Du sat on the sofa reading Buddhist scriptures, and without looking up when they arrived, he asked, Didn't get it? Right. Du Jiaojiao nodded. Grandfather Du then said, Ni Yang called right after you left. She told me to tell you that the limited edition Ice Muscle Jade skin set is hard to get, but if you want it, she can bring one set for you. Really? Du Jiaojiao suddenly got excited. Li Yao's eyes lit up too. Grandfather Du nodded. Du Jiao exclaimed, "The beauty is really a beauty, with such wide connections. She can get anything. It looks like I won't have to worry about running out of ice muscle jade skin." Li Yao followed up, Jiao, I'm going back to Shin City soon. Could you call and ask the beauty if she can bring a few more sets? I'm willing to pay double the price. Such a great product would make a perfect gift. Those wealthy ladies, none of them don't care about beauty. A set of precious skincare products could win over people's hearts. Du Jiao nodded, okay, I'll go now. During this time, the Lu family practically visited Zhao Shuyu's house every day. But no matter what Lu Qinian said, Zhao Shuyue wouldn't agree to leave Jinghua village, nor would she allow Lu Ru to stay and take care of her. For a while, Lu Qinian became anxious, and Jiao Wenong was too. Zhao Shuyue was like a stone in a dung pit, stinky and hard, impervious to soft and hard tactics. Lu Qinian sighed deeply, speaking earnestly, "Shuyue, you're also at this age. We have been husband and wife for a lifetime. Would I harm you? There's no need for you to be so guarded against me. From the moment you married me, you became a member of the Lu family, and after you pass on, you're meant to be laid to rest in our Lu family's ancestral grave." After he finished speaking, Lu Qinian continued, "Shuyue, we are family now, so let's not speak in terms of two households. You can't always rely on outsiders, and I remember our father once said that our ancestors, during the Kangxi Emperor's reign, secretly buried a stash of gold bars and treasured items, leaving behind a treasure map. Is that map with you now?" "Treasure map?" Zhao Shuyu's brows furrowed slightly as she turned to look at Lu Qinian, incredulous. "You're here for the treasure map?" "No." Lu Qinian shook his head in denial. "Of course not. In your eyes, am I that kind of heartless villain? I'm here to make amends. I'm just curious about the treasure map. I just asked casually. After all, we are family. Is there any secret among family?" Chapter 954, True Colors. Extremely disgusting. Lu Qinian used to be honest and loyal, otherwise, the old master of the Zhao family would not have trusted to take him as his son-in-law. Zhao Shuyu's impression of Lu Qinian remained from 60 years ago. But after 60 years, the handsome and dashing young man had turned into an old man with white hair. Who knew what kind of heart lay hidden beneath his belly? She had changed from Zhao Shuyue to Lu Zhao's wife, and then back to Zhao Shuyue. It was a perfect example. Everything was changing, including people's hearts. Upon hearing this, she smiled and said, "What treasure map? It's all just rumors. Our ancestors never buried any gold." "How could there be none?" Lu Qinian exclaimed in surprise. "I clearly heard our father mention it. Shuyue were family. Are you still hiding it from me?" The ancestors of the Zhao family were originally wealthy landlords. Keeping a batch of gold was very normal, and this fact came from the old master himself. How could it be false? Now Zhao Shuyue obviously did not consider him one of her own. "There really isn't any," Zhao Shuyue retorted. "If there were any gold mines, would I be living such a desolate life?" This, Lu Qinian choked, knowing that Zhao Shuyue was testing him. He decided not to say any more and simply stated, "Shuyue, wealth and possessions are external things. You can't take it with you when you're born or when you die. I'm just worried about your age now. If something happens one day, do you intend to take these secrets to the grave?" After saying this, Lu Qinian continued, "When I got married into the Zhao family, I became a Zhao family member. I've thought it through. If you agree, after I adopt Xiaoru to you and let her take your surname, in any case, the Zhao line must not end with us. Shuyue, what do you think?" In Lu Qinian's view, there was no such thing as being married into a family. Zhao Shuyue married him and should follow him regardless of life or death. Isn't Zhao Shuyue considered a member of the Lu family? But now, Zhao Shuyue held a treasure map, and if he didn't lower his stance a bit, Zhao Shuyue would not trust him. With no other choice, he could only painfully allow Xiaoru to change her surname first. Once Zhao Shuyue took out the treasure map, Zaira's surname, whatever it should be, would still be needed. Zhao Shuyue was a woman who emerged from an old era. She valued family legacy above everything else. If the Zhao line ended with Zhao Shuyue, then she would be considered a sinner. Upon hearing this, Zhao Shuyu's expression changed. Are you really willing to let Xiaoru change her surname? Of course. Lu Qinian nodded. Would Wenong agree to it? Asked Zhao Shuyue. At this moment, Zhao Shuyue was somewhat swayed. In her life, she had neither children nor other surviving family members. If Lu Qinian agreed to let Xiaoru change her surname, then after 100 years, she could also reconcile with her ancestors. Seeing Zhao Shuyue like this, Lu Qinian probably had an idea and added, Wenong is a good woman. Since she agreed to adopt Xiaoru to you, she will definitely agree to letting Xiaoru change her surname. Today Jiao Wentong and Xiaoru did not come together. Zhao Shuyue then said, then you go back and discuss it with Wentong and the others? All right, Lu Qinian nodded. Then, Shuyue, you just wait for my good news at home. That night, Lu Qinian went back and discussed the matter with Jiao Wentong. Jiao Wentong understandingly said, Xiaoru is your daughter, you have no objections, what objections could I have? Qinian, you are the head of our family, you decide on these matters, what do I, a mere housewife, know? Jiao Wentong greatly satisfied Lu Qinian's male pride. Wentong, you really are understanding. Lu Qinian put his arm around Jiao Wentong's shoulders. Luckily, heavens let me meet you. Zhao Shuyue is just a rock in a privy pit. He and Zhao Shuyue were married, and her things should naturally belong to him. Yet, Zhao Shuyue insisted on using the treasure map to trouble him. Adopting Xiaoru to her was not enough. She even wanted Xiaoru to change her surname. Having sighed in relief, Lu Qinian also harbored resentment. Why should his daughter take Zhao Shuyu's surname? Jiao Wentong continued, so will our Xiaoru be named Zhao from now on? Impossible. Lu Qinian flatly denied. Xiaoru is my daughter. The Zhao family is doomed to end. Once we get the treasure map, Xiaoru will immediately change her surname back. Chapter 955. True Colors. Extremely disgusting. _2. Jiao Wentong nodded. Let's go and discuss this matter with Xiaoru. Okay. The two headed to Lu Ru's room where she was applying nail polish. I don't mind changing my last name. I'm already a Zhao, so shouldn't the Zhao family's heirloom be inherited by me? Lu Ru adored that bracelet ever since she first saw it. That bracelet was made of top-grade turquoise, warm in winter and cool in summer, and it could ward off evil spirits. And it had been passed down since the Song dynasty. Precious indeed. And Ai Yang was just a mere village girl. How could she possibly be worthy of it? Only someone of her noble status deserves such a treasure. Hearing this, Jiao Wentong looked up at Lu Qinian. Lu Qinian smiled and said, since it's a family heirloom, naturally it should be inherited by the rightful heir. Tomorrow, let's go to Jinghua village and you can tell her in person. If Zhao Shuyue wanted Lu Ru to change her surname, she naturally had to show some sincerity. Besides, that bracelet was originally their family's heirloom. Okay, Lu Ru nodded. The next morning, upon hearing this news, Lu Qi asked somewhat uncertainly, Mom, Dad, are you really agreeing to let Xiaoru change her surname? Lu Qi was still in the dark about the treasure map. He always thought that Lu Qinian truly felt guilty towards Zhao Shuyue, and that's why he wanted to make it up to her. Lu Ru was the daughter treasured by her parents, and Lu Qi always felt something was unrealistic about this situation. Lu Qinian nodded. Yes, when I was young I wronged your aunt. It's only right that I treat her better now. Her only regret now is that she doesn't have children, and she's already of such an age. I don't want her to live with that regret. Lu Qinian's words were noble and impressive. As a father, of course, he had to set a good example for his son. Lu Qi was different from Lu Ru. Lu Qi had too strong a sense of justice and was too honest. He spoke and acted without considering the consequences, and would confront anyone he believed to be wrong, regardless of their status. A typical case of high IQ but low emotional intelligence, inept at socializing. If he knew that all this was for Zhao Shuyu's gold mine, he might not even acknowledge his own father. Thus, Lu Qinian couldn't let Lu Qi know the inside story. He had to continue portraying the image of a good father, a good man, a good husband in front of Lu Qi. Lu Qi nodded. Dad, Aunt has suffered all her life. It's only right for you to treat her better. By the way, didn't you say last time that you wanted to bring her to live with us? Lu Qinian sighed helplessly. Your aunt doesn't want to come. She's still holding a grudge. Lu Qi took a sip of water from his cup. After all, aunt has been waiting for you for over 60 years. Anyone would feel resentful. People like my aunt are rare nowadays. Don't rush, some things take time. In today's society, how many women would wait for a man, for a whole 60 years without marrying anyone else? It's simply impossible. One can hardly imagine what Zhao Shuiyue has endured over these 60 years. Although Zhao Shuiyue is a woman, she values loyalty more than most men do. So, Lu Qi truly admires Zhao Shuiyue. Lu Qinian patted Lu Qi's shoulder. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Lu Qi nodded. In the afternoon, Lu Qinian, Jiao Wenong, and Lu Ru went to Jinghua village together. Lu Ru held a wrapped package in her hand. Aunt, I made these pastries myself. Please have a taste. Xiaoru, it's thoughtful of you. Zhao Shuiyue took the package, pulled out a piece of osmanthus cake, and tasted it. Xiaoru, your cooking is really good. The osmanthus cake was indeed soft, glutinous, and sweet. Someone like Lu Ru, a delicate young lady who hardly dips her fingers in spring water, wouldn't know how to make osmanthus cake. It was bought on the way. Lu Ru humbly said, It's not as good as you say, aunt. As long as you like it, that's all that matters. After eating a piece of osmanthus cake, Zhao Shuiyue continued, Xiaoru, have your parents already talked to you about that matter? Yes, Lu Ru nodded. What do you think? Zhao Shuiyue straightened her expression, not wanting to force Zhao Shuiyue into anything uncomfortable. Lu Ru smiled, and I've said before, I will treat you like my own mother. Whether my last name is Lu or Zhao, it makes no difference to me. It's all up to you to decide. Chapter 956, True Colors. Extremely disgusting. _3. Okay, Zhao Shuiyue nodded, musing inwardly that Lu Ru indeed was a sensible child. Lu Qinian seized the moment. Then let's take care of this matter early. Shuiyue, where is your household registration book? Wentong gave Lu Ru a cue with his eyes. Lu Ru continued, But big aunt, I have a small request. Speak. Zhao Shuiyue looked at Lu Ru. Lu Ru proceeded, Big aunt, once I become your daughter, shouldn't you pass the family heirloom to me? It makes no sense to give the heirloom to a stranger. In any case, Ni Yang had no qualifications or reason to take that bracelet. Family heirloom? Zhao Shuiyue was initially stunned, then realized that Lu Ru was here for the bracelet. You mean that bracelet? Zhao Shuiyue asked with a smile. Yes, yes, yes. Lu Ru hurriedly nodded. That bracelet, big aunt, it's our family's heirloom. It should never fall into the hands of outsiders. Zhao Shuiyue nodded. Okay, they'll give it to you. A stranger indeed has no right to my bracelet. Speaking of which, there's also the treasure map. She paused deliberately at this point. Hearing the words treasure map, Lu Qinian's eyes lit up with excitement. He had always known the treasure map existed. Wenong was also very excited. They'll give you the treasure map too, Zhao Shuiyue continued. I'm old anyway, and I can't take these things with me. Are you serious? You'll really give Xiaoru the treasure map? Lu Qinian asked impatiently. Zhao Shuiyue nodded. I'll give it. Xiaoru is my only daughter after all. Who else would I give it to? Wenong could hardly believe it. Big sister, are you joking? This cunning old woman, she's finally come around? It felt somewhat surreal. Zhao Shuiyue said with a smile, We're all family here. As the saying goes, keep the goodies within the family. If I don't leave it to Xiaoru, who else would I leave it to? I certainly can't take it with me when I die and be buried with it. Oh, Shuiyue, it's great that you see it that way, Lu Qinian eagerly said. By the way, where is the treasure map? Since you're going to give it to Xiaoru eventually, why not bring it out now? Treasure map. Finally, they could get their hands on the treasure map, making their whole trek from Bay Island to Beijing worthwhile. Yes, big aunt, please bring it out now so I can experience it for myself. Lu Ru was too excited, not believing how easily she had managed to persuade Zhao Shuiyue. This crafty old lady wasn't as clever as she'd imagined. Zhao Shuiyue said with a smile, Okay, don't hurry, I'll go fetch it. With these words, Zhao Shuiyue turned and walked towards the inner room. Lu Ru stood up. Big aunt, let me come with you. Wentong interjected. You child, why still call her big aunt? You should be calling her mom now. Yes, yes, mom, let me come with you, Lu Ru immediately corrected herself. No need, Zhao Shuwe turned her head, just wait here for me. Lu Ru sat back down and whispered, Dad, can we return to Bay Island once we get the treasure map? Yes, Lu Qinian nodded. Wentong said with a smile, what about that bracelet? Don't you want it anymore? Lu Ru replied, of course I do. Once that old lady brings out the treasure map, I'll have her take me to Ni Yang to get the bracelet back. Wentong nodded. In a few moments, Zhao Shuyue, with both hands behind her back, emerged from the inner room. Lu Qinian suppressed his excitement. Shuyue, you're here? Where's the treasure map? Don't rush, I've got it. Zhao Shuyue walked over with a smile, her right hand moving leisurely from behind. Lu Qinian was transfixed, his gaze unblinkingly fixed on Zhao Shuyue's hand. It was the treasure map. It had to be the treasure map in Zhao Shuyue's hand. He had finally seen the treasure map. Soon he would possess a vast fortune. Lu Qinian was overwhelmed with excitement, his heart pounding wildly. Beside him, Wentong and Lu Ru also watched Zhao Shuyue intently. Just then, bang! A flash of cold light, and a cleaver slammed down hard on the table. The room fell eerily silent in an instant. None of the three present had expected that Zhao Shuyue would be holding a cleaver. Zhao Shuyue, putting all her strength into it, forcefully chopped the cleaver down on the table, her cold eyes fixed on the family of three across from her. Chapter 957, True Colors. Extremely disgusting. _4. Lu Qinian's face subtly changed, and a sudden ominous feeling rose in his heart, his mouth twitching into a stiff smile. Shuyue, what kind of joke is this? Why bring out a knife all of a sudden? Jiao Wenong quickly caught on, smiling as he tried to smooth things over. Exactly, big sister, what kind of joke is this? Lu Qinian, do you really think I, Zhao Shuyue, am a fool? Zhao Shuyue looked at Lu Qinian. You and your family can get out. Get out right now. Since Lu Qinian spoke of the treasure map yesterday, Zhao Shuyue knew he hadn't come to Beijing out of any remorse. From beginning to end, it was all for that gold mine. If it wasn't for that gold mine, Lu Qinian probably wouldn't even remember her name. Zhao Shuyue was no fool. To see this family's true colors, she had played along with them, only to find they indeed came for the treasure map. What utter shamelessness! Her 60 years of waiting, watching over mere ingrates. It was almost laughable. Shuyue, you must be misunderstanding something? Lu Qinian tried to calm himself. I can explain. What actually is going on with this Zhao Shuyue? How could her demeanor change so suddenly? She was nothing like the understanding Zhao family's fourth miss from back then. No need for explanations. Just leave. Zhao Shuyue picked up the kitchen knife, pointing it towards the door. Lu Ru swallowed hard. Mom, please calm down. Zhao Shuyue turned to look at Lu Ru. You should look at yourself in the mirror. With what weight do you claim to be my daughter, Zhao Shuyue? At a time like this, Lu Ru dared to shamelessly call her mother. It was truly the craftsmanship of Lu Qinian's nurturing. How had she failed to see their true nature earlier? Big sister, Jiao Wentong spoke up. Zhao Shuyue looked at Jiao Wenong. I have 3 older brothers and 1 younger brother. Since when did I get a younger sister? Jiao Wenong, what right do you have to call me big sister? Jiao Wenong turned pale. Zhao Shuyue, what exactly do you want? Wentong genuinely cares for you. Don't be so ungrateful. Lu Qinian erupted with anger. If it were another woman, who else could compare to Jiao Wentang's magnanimity in voluntarily addressing Zhao Shuyue as a big sister? Zhao Shuyue was truly pushing her luck. She truly knew nothing of gratitude. Enduring the insults hurled at Jiao Wentang by Zhao Shuyue was something Lu Qinian couldn't tolerate, nor did he wish to see Jiao Wentang humiliated in front of Zhao Shuyue any longer. Ungrateful was she? Hearing this, Zhao Shuyue wore a self-mocking expression, pointing towards the door. Get out! Get out of my sight this instant! Lu Qinian, let me be honest with you. Our family ancestors indeed hid a stash of gold, not just gold but also many precious silks and exotic treasures. The treasure map is here with me, but you will never lay your hands on this map. I'd rather burn it, throw it away, or feed it to stray dogs than let a villain like you have it. Lu Qinian wanted that treasure map, didn't he? She would let him taste the torment of desire unfulfilled. Hearing this, Lu Qinian felt terrible. He had known that Zhao Shuiwei definitely possessed the treasure map. That damned old hag. She was doing this on purpose. She had purposely set a trap for him. She had purposely made him suffer. And to think she didn't care at all about their past affection as husband and wife. Lu Qinian wanted to rage, but faced with the treasure map, he had no choice but to suppress his anger. Shuiwei, I'm sorry. I was wrong just now, my words were reckless, unintended. Wenong is a good woman, please don't speak like this about her. Jiao Wenong immediately cried out, Big sister, I've already told you if you're bothered by me I can divorce Hao Shan. I don't want anything, I just want you two to be happy. The couple played their roles well, almost convincingly. If it had been before, Zhao Shuiwei might have believed them. But now, not anymore. Lu Qinian continued, there's a saying, a day of marriage endures 100 days of grace. Shuiwei, we were a loving couple for 2 years after all. I genuinely want to make it up to you, to adopt Xiaoru as your daughter. Don't you hold any affection for our past at all? Lu Qinian was 2 years older than Zhao Shuiwei. She was 16 when they married, and they separated when Zhao Shuiwei was 18. Zhao Shuiwei and Lu Qinian had grown up together, childhood sweethearts, innocent and carefree. Chapter 958, True Colors. Extremely disgusting. _5. What a pity, it could never go back to how it was. Now, the person before her eyes was no longer the bedfellow of the past. Now, when mentioning the past, Zhao Shuiwei could only feel irony and ridicule. Don't bring up the past with me, Lu Qinian. You don't deserve it. My father was blind to save you from the snow all those years ago. Old Master Zhao should have let Lu Qinian freeze to death in the snow back then. Shuiwei. Lu Qinian sighed, his expression one of pain and helplessness. I wronged you in the past, what do I have to do for you to forgive me? Get lost. Get out of here now. Zhao Shuiwei tightened her grip on the kitchen knife in her hand. If you don't get lost, watch out, I won't be polite. Lu Qinian, I'm staking everything today. I'm ready to fight you with my life. Zhao Shuiwei was serious, and Lu Qinian narrowed his eyes before saying, All right, we're leaving. Shuiwei, don't get agitated, don't get angry, it's bad for your health. In this situation, one mustn't act recklessly, one needed to think of a foolproof plan. With those words, Lu Qinian left with Jiao Wenong and Lu Ru. Unfortunately, when it rains, it pours. The car stopped working just as they reached the entrance of the village. Lu Qinian got out to check. It seems like the engine has stalled due to carbon buildup. Jiao Wenong got out of the car as well. Can we start it again? Lu Qinian shook his head. What should we do then? Jiao Wenong was a little anxious. Lu Qinian continued, First, let's make a phone call, have someone come over to fix it. On the way here, I saw telephone poles by the road. Surely someone in the village must have a phone at home. In those days, not many families had a phone installed, and finding out which home had a phone was simple, just follow the telephone poles. Naturally, it was up to the women to knock on doors, so Jiao Wenong went to a house with a telephone to knock. The door opened quickly. The door was opened by a beautiful young woman in her 30s or 40s, with a strangely familiar feeling to her. Jiao Wenong squinted her eyes and smiled. Miss, may I use your phone please? As Jiao Wenong felt the familiarity, and Ai Zuihua also felt that Jiao Wenong looked familiar. Who's this? Why did she feel like she had seen her somewhere before? And Ai Zuihua hesitated for a moment, then said, Come in. Thank you, Jiao Wenong expressed her gratitude. Once inside the courtyard, Jiao Wenong was taken aback, not expecting a seemingly ordinary rural courtyard to hide such wonder. There was a telephone in the living room. Go ahead. Jiao Wenong thanked her again, picked up the phone, and as she lifted the receiver, her light red sleeve slid down her wrist due to her movement, revealing a brown scar on her fair skin, as if bitten by something. And Ai Zuihua frowned slightly, feeling a headache at the back of her head. Why did she find this scar so strange? It didn't take long for Jiao Wenong to make the call. Miss, thank you so much. How much is the phone bill? I'll pay you. And Tsuehua smiled and said, everyone faces difficulties away from home. You didn't even make a minute's call. There's no need to pay. Is there a guest at home? Old Lady Jing came in with little Ni Yun from the outside. And Tsuehua said, this elder sister's car broke down at the entrance of our village, so she came to use our phone. Old Lady Jing nodded, I see. But looking up, she found the person strangely familiar. Is this a young version of Dr. Jiang? Old Lady Zheng was stunned. Jiao Wenong was also shocked. She hadn't expected to accidentally stumble into Old Lady Zheng's home. Could this person be Old Lady Zheng's daughter from the countryside? No wonder she always felt Ni Zihua was so familiar. Jiao Wenong didn't want to stay any longer. Suppressing the panic in her heart, she smiled and said, Miss, thank you. My husband and child are still waiting for me there, so I'd better leave now. All right, and Tsuehua nodded. After Jiao Wenong left, Old Lady Zheng said, Ting Ting, don't you think that young lady looks especially like someone? And Tsuehua replied, I also think she looks very familiar, just can't place where I've seen her. Old Lady Zheng continued, she looks like Dr. Jiang. With that said, it suddenly dawned on Ni Tsuehua. Right. Mom, you're right, she does indeed look like Dr. Jiang. Even the eyes are exactly the same. Chapter 959, True Colors. Extremely disgusting. _6. Ni Tsuehua found it strange again. When she first saw Dr. Jiang, she felt a sense of familiarity, and now seeing Jiao Wenong, she felt even more familiar with him. What was the connection between these two people? Moreover, the feeling of familiarity that Jiao Wenong evoked in her seemed even stronger. It was as if something in her mind was on the brink of bursting forth. Very strange. Why would that be? Mom, does Dr. Jiang have any other siblings? And Tsuehua turned and asked. Madame Zheng said, I think there's an older brother. I haven't heard about a younger sister. Could it be? Although Tsuehua didn't finish her sentence, Madame Zheng already understood her meaning. You mean to say, could she be Dr. Jiang's daughter? And Tsuehua nodded. Madame Zheng frowned slightly. Jiang Yan is a very scheming person. It's hard to say for sure with her. It seems you'll need to have someone look into this. It was odd, but ever since she met Jiao Wenong, Madame Zheng felt unsettled. Having returned to Lu Qinian's side, Jiao Wenong was breaking out in sweat again and again. The Zheng family held significant power in Beijing, and since they had come from Taiwan Island, they were currently unable to challenge the Zheng family. If Madame Zheng discovered that matter, everything would be over. Had he known this would happen, he should have let Lu Ru make the phone call. Such an unnecessary trouble brought upon himself. Truly bad luck. Mom, are you very hot? Why are you sweating so much? Lu Ru approached Jiao Wenong and asked curiously. Although it was summer, the bamboo groves on either side of the road brought cool breezes, making it not feel hot at all, but Jiao Wenong kept perspiring. Jiao Wenong wiped off her sweat. Mom just walked over from there, how could I not be hot? Let me fan you then, Lu Ru said, and began to fan Jiao Wenong with her hand. Soon enough, the repair person arrived. When Ni Yang returned home, she happened to see Jiao Wenong and the others fixing their car. She pretended not to see them and rode away on her bicycle. Back home, Madame Zheng mentioned seeing someone who looked very much like Dr. Jiang. Ni Yang said, Grandma, are you talking about Jiao Wenong? Madame Zheng was startled. Same surname as Jiang? Could it be that Jiao Wenong really had some connection to Dr. Jiang? Ni Yang clarified, it's the Jiang character with the 3 water radicals. Oh, Madame Zheng nodded, I see. Grandma. Ni Yang suddenly became more serious. Go on, Yang, said Madame Zheng. Ni Yang continued, I think she might be Dr. Jiang's sister, Jiang Ji. Although the information they found claimed that Jiang Ji was dead, Ni Yang always felt that there was more to the story. Does Jiang Yan have a sister? Madame Zheng found it strange, as she had never heard Dr. Jiang mention having a sister. Ni Yang recounted the matter of Jiang Ji to Madame Zheng and also mentioned the relationship between Zhao Shuyue and Jiao Wenong. Upon hearing this, Both Madame Zheng and Enai Cuehua were surprised. So, she's the woman that faithless man remarried? Said Enai Cuehua. Enai Yang nodded, yes. Enai Cuehua continued, no wonder I felt something was off about her. I wish I had never lent her my phone. Enai Cuehua was filled with regret. At the Lu family mansion, Lu Qinian was furious. What should we do, Dad? Now Auntie doesn't want me as her daughter anymore. You have to think of something quickly. Lu Ru was aching for that bracelet. That bracelet was rightfully hers. Lu Qinian said, Xiao, don't worry, Dad is thinking of a solution. Jiao Wenong sighed, forget it, Haoshan, let's go back to Taiwan Island. You saw how big sister acted today. She won't give us the treasure map. Staying here, she always felt uneasy. She couldn't stay any longer. Lu Qinian couldn't believe it. Wenong, what nonsense are you talking about? I won't go back unless I get the treasure map. Lu Qinian could wait, but she couldn't. Jiao Wenong narrowed her eyes, a plan forming in her mind, then said, Haoshan, I do have a method. Speak. Jiao Wenong poured a cup of tea for Lu Qinian. Since big sister is unwilling to come, then let's invite her over. Invite? Haven't we already invited her? Lu Qinian retorted. The problem was, Zhao Shuiyue simply didn't want to come. Jiang Yan smiled, took a sip of tea and continued, this invite is not the same as that invite. Since big sister won't eat the good wine, we'll have to invite her to drink punishment wine. We have already torn our facades with her anyway. Lu Qinian narrowed his eyes. Wenong, what do you mean? Jiang Yan said with a smile, Haoshan, do you know how criminals were interrogated in ancient prison cells? When the time comes, there will be ways to make her talk. Lu Qinian immediately understood Jiang Yan's implication. They could abduct Zhao Shuiyue and keep her under house arrest. Then if she was still stubborn, they could use some small tricks. Moreover, Zhao Shuiyue didn't have any children. Even if she disappeared, probably no one would care. So when shall we go? Lu Qinian continued to ask. Jiang Yan said, it's too visible in daylight, not good for actions, let's do it tonight. Zhao Shuiyue, a lonely old widow, would be very easy to take from Jinghua village. They had to act swiftly and decisively. Good. Lu Qinian nodded, let's do it this way. Wenong, let's take action tonight. I'm going too. Lu Ru was quite excited. For such actions, outsiders naturally couldn't be brought along. Only their own people could be trusted. Lu Qinian said, good, Xiao will also go, but we mustn't let your brother find out about this. Lu Ru then said, but at home, my brother always sees her. What if she talks nonsense when the time comes? Jiang Yan smiled, that's easy to handle, just say she has a mental illness. Your brother is simple-minded, he won't suspect a thing. Who would take the nonsense of a mentally ill person seriously? After solidifying the plan, Jiang Yan began preparing for it. As the moon rose over the willow tips, a sedan quietly left the mansion. The surroundings were enveloped in darkness, absolutely quiet. At midnight, in an era without internet, was the prime time for people to be deep in slumber. The black sedan, shrouded in darkness, quietly drove into Jinghua village, its headlights illuminating the road ahead brightly. Because Jinghua village had a good ambience, few people kept dogs, so when the car entered, besides the engine noise, there was almost no other sound. But the engine's sound and the light startled the resting birds on the trees. Chirp. Who of sound mind would care about the birds in the trees? Xiao, you stay in the car, your mom and I will go in. Lu Qinian looked at Lu Ru. Okay, Lu Ru nodded. Since it was summer, people didn't close their windows when sleeping, which made it convenient for Jiang Yan. She pulled out a tube, aimed it at the window, and blew white smoke into the room. Will this really work? Lu Qinian asked. Don't worry, it will be fine. Jiang Yan reassured him and tossed a small stone into the room. Seeing that even the noise of the stone hitting the ground didn't wake Zhao Shuiyue, Lu Qinian breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 960, What Goes Around Comes Around. After confirming that the person inside had entered a deep sleep, Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong circled around to the front door, ready to pry it open. Before prying the door, Jiao Wenong pulled out a pair of thin gloves from his pocket and put them on. Doors like this can only stop a gentleman, not a petty thief. Thus, the two easily pried the door open. Creak! The ancient wooden door made a heavy sound. Clearing the clouds to see the moonlight's clear glow illuminated everything inside the house brightly. Jiao Wenting, holding Lu Qinian with one hand and a flashlight with the other, headed towards the inner room. Haoshan, be gentle. Lu Qinian nodded. Zhao Shuyu's bedroom was still locked, and Jiao Wenong took out his lock-picking tools and quickly pried the lock open. The two of them walked into the bedroom together. Zhao Shuyue was sleeping on the bed. In order to prevent Zhao Shuyue from hiding the treasure map at home, the two of them flashed their flashlights around, tossing the place upside down. This medicine was very effective. The noise they made while searching was loud, but Zhao Shuyue didn't wake up. Haoshan, Jiao Wenong found an old dressing box in the corner. Look at this. Although the dressing table was quite old, one could still see that it was made of fine golden Nanmu wood, and the cover of the dressing box was locked with a small brass lock that had turned green with rust. This is a good item, let's take it for now. Lu Qinian immediately recognized it as Zhao Shuyu's bridal dowry. As he spoke, Lu Qinian continued, let's go look over there. Since Zhao Shuyue wouldn't wake up anytime soon, they could take their time searching. If they could find the treasure map, they wouldn't need to waste their energy taking Zhao Shuyue back. Ni Yang woke up at exactly 12:20 a.m., feeling a bit thirsty. She turned on the light and got out of bed for water. Even though the day was very hot, the night wasn't hot at all. A cool breeze was blowing in from the outside, making one feel refreshed. Ni Yang drank water while looking out the window. The moonlight was beautiful tonight. Everywhere was draped in silvery white, as if the earth had been covered with a hazy veil. But Ni Yang wasn't in the mood to appreciate the scenery. For some reason, she felt that something was off tonight. Weird. What was it? Could it be that she was overthinking? What could happen in the dead of night? After drinking the water, Ni Yang turned off the light and went back to bed to sleep. Meanwhile, Jiao Wenong and Lu Qinian had been searching the house for a long time without finding the treasure map, so they had no choice but to give up and take Zhao Shuyue with them. Jiao Wenong pulled up Zhao Shuyue. Haoshan, lend a hand. Be careful. A fat cat was sleeping next to Zhao Shuyue, and because of the drugs, the fat cat was also sleeping very soundly, not making a single movement. Okay. Snap. Just then, a little bird that had been perched on the windowsill suddenly spread its wings and flew out, the sudden sound startling both Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong in the room. Jiao Wenong looked back and saw that it was only a small bird, and heaved a sigh of relief. Just a bird. It's nothing. Lu Qinian exhaled deeply, his forehead breaking out in a cold sweat. The bird that just flew away wasn't ordinary, it was Duo. Although Zhao Shuyue kept a hateful and exceedingly ugly fat cat at home, Duo still liked Zhao Shuyue very much. Because Zhao Shuyue often fed it a lot of delicious food. Seeing the bad guys about to take Zhao Shuyue away, Duo was so anxious it could break its wings, flying with all its might towards the small courtyard of the Ni family. Yang. The moment Duo flew in, Ni Yang heard it, and she quickly switched on the desk lamp. What's wrong, Duo? Normally, Duo wouldn't disturb her in the dead of night. Unless something had happened. Thieves. Duo flapped its wings vigorously. Granny Lu. Thieves. Ni Yang's brow twitched, and she took a jacket out of the closet, putting it on as she walked. I'm going over to Granny Zhao's house now, and you go down to call my parents. After calling my dad and mom, go and shout around the village. Ni Yang had a hunch that this thief was different from the ordinary thief. If the whole village was alerted, everyone would be witnesses, and the situation would be easier to handle. Duo immediately flew downstairs. Thieves! Catch the thieves! Ni Zihua and Shangguan Dui weren't as sensitive as Ni Yang. It took several shouts from Duo to awaken the couple. Chapter 961. Evil is met with evil. _2. The two people heard there was a thief and immediately scrambled up from their bed. Every level of the Ni family home was brightly lit, along with Duo's shouting. Soon old Madam Zheng, old Master Zheng, Shangguan old Madam, and Ni Qingui were also awake. Then, the lights in the neighboring houses were turned on. There's a thief, there's a thief. Husband, quickly get up and take a look. Hearing there was a thief, the man who was fast asleep was instantly alert. Where's the thief? There's a thief. Certainly no small matter. You should know that Jinghua village was very peaceful and the villagers were quite united. Petty thieves and pickpockets hardly dared to target Jinghua village. Yet tonight, a thief had actually come. I don't know, you quickly go out and take a look. All right. The man didn't even have time to put on a coat, just went outside in his boxers and bare-chested. The man went outside to take a look. My goodness! Nearly the entire village, men and women, young and old, had all gotten up. The crowd was noisy. The man went back inside. Seems like Auntie Liu's place has attracted a thief. He'll go over and take a look. You watch the children at home, lock the door and don't open it for anyone. Zhao Shuyue was a widow and an elder in the village, without sons or daughters, so her affairs were everyone's concern. Her home having drawn a thief, everyone definitely wouldn't stand by idly. The people of Jinghua village were not to be trifled with. Take this with you. The woman casually picked up an axe and handed it to the man. Take it for self-defense. If that thief dares to bully Auntie Lu, use this to chop him. All right. Then he'll go first, you watch the children at home. The man took the axe and ran outside. It was night, but Jinghua village was busier than during the day. Suddenly, the village was ablaze with lights and filled with a noisy tumult, which scared the living daylights out of Jiao Wenong and Lu Qinian. Fortunately, they had already put Zhao Shuyue in the trunk of the car. To prevent Zhao Shuyue from causing trouble during the transport, Jiao Wenong had tied her hands and feet with ropes and gagged her mouth with a towel. Quick, Haoshan, let's get in the car. Jiao Wenong urged Lu Qinian. Because his parents hadn't come over, Lu Ru had fallen asleep in the car and now mumbled groggily, Mom, Dad, why did you only just get here? I was getting so anxious. Lu Qinian didn't have time to explain anything, hurriedly got into the passenger seat, and was about to close the door when a pale, slender hand pressed on the car door, seemingly without much effort, but no matter how hard Lu Qinian tried, he couldn't close the door. Uncle Lu, what are you trying to do this late at night? The owner of this hand was none other than Ni Yang. Suppressing the panic in his heart, Lu Qinian replied with a smile, Oh, it's Yang Yang. I was just visiting your Grandma Zhao's house. Ni Yang narrowed her eyes. Paying a visit in the middle of the night? Lying through your teeth. Jiao Wenong joined in with a smile. We just came to check on Big Sister. It's getting late. We should be heading back. Just then, the voice of Ni Zihua came from the other side. Yang Yang. Hearing that a thief had visited Jinghua village, Ni Zihua was almost frantic with worry, scared that Ni Yang might have encountered danger. No matter how capable Ni Yang was, she was still just a young girl, and there wasn't a mother in the world who wouldn't be concerned about her own daughter. Mom. Ni Yang looked back. In the time it took to speak, taking advantage of Ni Yang looking away, Jiao Wenong immediately shut the car door. Haoshan, let's hurry and go. Lu Qinian slammed on the accelerator, and the car shot out like a rocket. Ni Yang curved her lips slightly, not in a hurry, just looking ahead like that, her composure unshakable. Seconds later, a piercing screech of brakes was heard from the front. SSS, having lived in Jinghua village for so long, Ni Yang naturally knew the character of the villagers. Under such circumstances, the villagers wouldn't sit idly by. In front, the villagers were hand in hand, holding flashlights, and had encircled the black sedan from inside and out so tightly that not a drop could get through. Yang Yang, are you all right? Ni Zihua and Shengguan Dehui ran up to Ni Yang. Ni Yang shook her head. I'm fine. Mom, you and Dad go check on Grandma Zhao. They'll go see what's happening with Lu Qinian and the others. Okay. Ni Zihua nodded. Ni Yang jogged towards the front. Yang Yang, we've caught the thief. Seeing Ni Yang approach, the crowd spontaneously opened a path for her. Beat this damn dog to death. He even dared to come to Jinghua village. Yeah. Beat him to death. Lu Qinian knew things had gotten serious and hurriedly opened the car door to get out, taking out cigarettes from his pocket and distributing them to the crowd. Misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Fellow villagers, this is a misunderstanding. I'm a relative of Shuyu's family, this is my wife, and my daughter is sitting in the car. We came to see Shuyue, we're not thieves. Chapter 962. Evil is met with evil. _3. Who is Shuyue? The matter about Zhao Shuyue hadn't spread through the village yet, so everyone knew her only by her last name Lu and didn't know her real name. Before the situation was clarified, everyone reacted defensively, and no one dared to accept the cigarettes from Lu Qinian's hand. What if it was a thief? Jiao Wenong followed up and said, Shuyue is the Aunt Lu you've been talking about, and Aunt Lu is my older sister. Due to some reasons, we had only recently recognized her as our sister. You see, when sisters chat, they lose track of time, and before we knew it, it was midnight. We are all family here. Family? Upon hearing this, the villagers exchanged glances. These past few days, Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong had indeed frequently visited Jinghua village, so the villagers were somewhat familiar with the couple. Could it be that they had made a mistake? Since we are all family, why are you all acting so guilty? Must be because you are hiding something shady. Ni Yang walked through the crowd, followed by the light from the villagers' flashlights, shining like a vast snowy glow. It really is a misunderstanding. Lu Qinian wiped the sweat from his forehead. Yang, do I look like the kind of person who would sneak around stealing? Besides, how many petty thieves drive a sedan? We just came to check on Shuyue. A sedan itself costs at least 70 or 80,000 yuan. Who would buy a sedan and still steal? It must be said, Lu Qinian's words did make some sense. After hearing this, the villagers relaxed their guard. I think it's quite possible. Ni Yang crossed her arms and looked down on Lu Qinian. Psychology says that people sweat profusely when they are highly nervous. Uncle Lu, is it very hot tonight? Saying this made Lu Qinian even more nervous. For some reason, even though Ni Yang was just a teenager, he couldn't help but feel incredibly anxious, with cold sweat layering his back. He couldn't control it. In front of Ni Yang, he was like a mouse seeing a cat. We really didn't steal anything. Jiao Wenong opened both sides of the car doors. If you don't believe it, you can check for yourself. Villagers stepped forward and shone flashlights inside the car. Aside from a young girl sitting in the back seat, there seemed to be nothing else. Lu Ru, who was like a pampered young lady, had never experienced a situation like this and was nearly scared to death. What should she do now? If she had known it would be like this, she wouldn't have come along. Who knew Jinghua village was so unified? And the trunk? Ni Yang spoke indifferently. Just because there's nothing inside the car doesn't mean there's nothing in the trunk. It was the middle of the night. This family of three wouldn't come here for no reason. Moreover, since Zhao Shuyue was born into a wealthy family, she might hold something Lu Qinian desperately wanted. The village chief shone his flashlight at the trunk. Open the trunk and let us see. Hearing the word, trunk, Lu Qinian swallowed hard, the nervousness he had suppressed now surging back. His mind went blank. Jiao Wenong was quicker to react, pressing her hand against the trunk. The trunk contains our private items, it's not appropriate to show you. Even the police need a search warrant to search, and you have no right to inspect our trunk. Seeing Jiao Wenong act this way, Lu Qinian quickly stood in front of the trunk. If someone saw what was inside the trunk, they couldn't clear their names even if they jumped into the Yellow River. Why had the night turned so bizarre, rousing the entire village? Lu Qinian felt extremely unsettled. Search, ordered the village chief. Just as two villagers were about to come forward, Jiao Wenong continued, you want to search our trunk without a warrant, that's illegal. It's an offense that could land you in jail. Jail? Hearing this, the two villagers who were about to proceed instinctively stopped. In such good times, who wanted to end up in jail? Just then, Anai Zihua and Shangguan Dehui came running from behind, panting, Yang, your Grandma Liu's house has been turned upside down. And she's not at home. Maybe because she was used to calling her Grandma Lu, Anai Zihua had a hard time changing her way of addressing. Hearing this, the nearby villagers immediately perked up again. Chapter 963. What goes around comes around. _4. Stay alert. Nobody's home, and the house has been turned upside down. Who the hell did this? It's so obvious. Surround them. Don't let them get away. God damn it. Where have you taken Auntie Lu? No, it wasn't us. Folks, you've got it all wrong. Zhao Shuiwei really is my elder sister. Think about it, everyone. Would I hurt my own sister? It was them. They've hidden my sister away. They want to kill her. And then they want to frame us for it. When Jiao Wenong got to this point, he suddenly pointed at Anita Hua and Shangguan Dehui. Their family has been eyeing us with contempt for a long time. They did it on purpose. Villagers, you must seek justice for my sister. Not a single good person exists in that family, whether old or young. Jiao Wenong might have been better off not saying these words, as they only enraged the crowd even more. You must know, Ni Yang is the pride of Jinghua village, the lucky star of the village. And this woman dared to speak ill of the Ni family like this. Get out of my way, you old bat. Wang Jinfeng, already known for her rowdiness, pushed Jiao Wenong aside. Today, I've got to see what you're hiding in that trunk. Fatsai, you and Brother Tiniu, go open that trunk. Daring to provoke the Ni family for no reason. Even if it meant going to jail, they weren't afraid. Ni Fatsai is Wang Jinfeng's husband. As the days in the village improved, so did Ni Fatsai's health. So what chance did the old and frail Lu Qinian stand against two strong, middle-aged men? Zhou Qingshang and Han Shaoqin quickly subdued Jiao Wenong from the left and the right. The villagers were accustomed to farm work and had strong bodies. Jiao Wenong was an elegant lady who hardly lifted a finger in her life. What strength could she have? Faced with such a situation, all she could do was make a scene. Help! Someone help! The ruffians are attacking! Shut her mouth! Wang Jinfeng turned to Zhou Qingshang. Zhou Qingshang produced a piece of black and smelly cloth from nowhere and stuffed it directly into Jiao Wenong's mouth. No sooner had they gagged Jiao Wenong than Ni Fatsai and Wang Tiniu opened the trunk. Clack! With that sound, the hearts of Jiao Wenong and Lu Qinian sank, and a chill ran through their bodies. It's over. It's all over. No one expected Zhao Shuiwei to be in the trunk. Zhao Shuiwei was bound hand and foot with white ropes, a towel stuffed in her mouth, curled up in the trunk. Next to her feet lay an old vanity case. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. Even Ni Yang didn't see it coming, that Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong could be so cruel and ruthless. Why would they kidnap Zhao Shuiwei? Just as everyone was still in shock, a series of urgent siren sounds suddenly pierced the air. 3 police cars drove up. What's happened here? Who called the police? Officer, I called the police. I'm the village chief of Jinghua village. The village chief stepped forward. These thieves not only came to our village to steal but also kidnapped one of our elderly residents. Now we've caught them red-handed. With Zhao Shuiwei still bound and folded in the trunk, and with so many eyewitnesses present, there was no way they could deny it. The police immediately untied Zhao Shuiwei. Is there a doctor among you? I am. Ni Yang stepped forward. You. The young officer hesitated for a moment, then said, Then please check on this elder for us. Of course. Ni Yang nodded and knelt down to take Zhao Shuyu's pulse, then checked her eyelids. Granny Zhao has inhaled some kind of toxin that has caused her to become comatose. Her condition is not good. She needs 4 treatment immediately. Officer, I'm going to take Granny Zhao to the hospital right away. Although traditional Chinese medicine is powerful, sometimes it can't do everything alone, and a combination of Western and Chinese medicines is needed. The toxin itself was not very harmful to the human body, but Zhao Shuyu's special constitution meant that she needed immediate 4 fluids and then acupuncture treatment. The young officer nodded. Xiao Sun and Xiaoma, go with this comrade to the hospital. All right. Xiao Sun and Xiaoma immediately helped carry Zhao Shuiwei to the vehicle. Xiaoma was a driver. Ni Yang frowned slightly. Officer, Granny Zhao's condition is very special. She needs to get to the hospital within 10 minutes. Let me drive. Chapter 964. What goes around comes around. _5. 10 minutes? It would take at least 30 minutes to reach the nearest hospital at top speed. 10 minutes is simply impossible. Comrade, are you kidding? Xiaoma asked incredulously. No, Ni Yang replied seriously. Seeing no trace of jest in Ni Yang's demeanor, and the situation being extremely urgent, a matter of life and death after all, Xiaoma didn't say another word and gave up the driver's seat to Ni Yang. Thank you for your trust. Ni Yang got into the driver's seat and performed the startup sequence, ignition, engine start, throttle, all in one smooth motion. Before the others in the car could even react, the vehicle had already shot out at lightning speed. The two police officers exchanged a startled glance, each seeing the shock in the other's eyes. My God! This was incredible! No one had expected that a country girl could drive this well. The journey, which was supposed to take 10 minutes, was completed by Ni Yang in just 5 minutes to the front of the hospital. Now, even the way the two police officers looked at Ni Yang had changed. Comrade, what's your name? One of the officers asked as they brought Zhao Shuyue to the emergency room and finally had a moment to take down her statement. Ni Yang responded in an even tone, My name is Ni Yang, an I with the individual component, and Yang with the meaning smoke, as in the warm sun's rays cause smoke to rise from Lantian jade. And what relation is the elder to you? Over at Jinghua village. The police officer took out handcuffs from his belt and stood in front of Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong, saying sternly, The two of you, put your hands up. Don't move. Officer, there's another one in the car, a villager reminded. Lu Ru was scared to death inside the car. Officer, I'm not a thief, I've been wronged. The officers always carried out fair investigations. They would never mistakenly accuse an innocent person, nor would they let a guilty party go free. Cold handcuffs were promptly clasped onto Lu Ru's wrists. Save your words for the police station. Xiaolu, Xiaozhong, you all follow the village chief to the victim's home to gather evidence. Got it. The village chief led the way. Come with me this way, comrades. The officers didn't finish taking statements and bringing Lu Qinian and Jiao Wentang's family of 3 back to the police station until past 3 a.m. At this time, under the doctor's life-saving efforts, Zhao Shuyue had also awakened. Grandma Zhao, are you okay? Ni Yang brightened up upon seeing Zhao Shuyue finally awake. Yang Yang. Zhao Shuyue grasped Ni Yang's hand. Ni Yang asked again, Grandma Zhao, are you all right? Zhao Shuyue shook her head, tears streaming down the corners of her eyes. I'm fine, but I just never expected Lu Qinian to be so heartless. He could actually do such a thing. Although Zhao Shuyue had been in a coma, her consciousness had always been clear. She could never have imagined that Lu Qinian would treat her this way. Ni Yang reassured her, It's good you're okay. Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong have already been arrested by the officers. You just need to clarify the details to them later. Right? Zhao Shuyue nodded. The next morning, 2 police officers came to take Zhao Shuyue's statement. Zhao Shuyue recounted the whole event to the officers. Officers, please, you must not let them get away with this. This was attempted murder. What they did was illegal. If it hadn't been for Yang Yang noticing in time last night, I, an old woman, probably wouldn't be alive right now. Don't worry, ma'am, we will ensure justice is served. Lu Qi woke up the next morning to find his parents and sister weren't home. As he wondered why, a servant came in. Young master, the police officers are here to see you. Police officers? Lu Qi was stunned momentarily, puzzled as to why the police were looking for him. He considered himself a good citizen, never having done anything wrong. After learning the whole truth, Lu Qi turned pale. Officer, there must be some mistake, right? My parents are good people. How could they possibly do such a thing? And my sister, although she can be a bit spoiled and arrogant, she's not a bad person at heart. What on earth was going on? He had just gone to sleep, so why had his parents and sister suddenly become suspects of attempted murder and burglary? It must be that he hadn't woken up yet. He was still dreaming. Lu Qi pinched his thigh hard. It hurt. He wasn't dreaming? Lu Qi suddenly laughed. Officer, you must be joking with me this early in the morning. It had to be the officers playing a joke on him. Chapter 965. What goes around comes around. _6. With those words, Lu Qi continued, Comrade police officer, does our family look like one that needs to commit theft? Theft? It's simply non-existent. Their family wasn't struggling to get by. Murder attempt was even more unlikely, as they had just arrived in Beijing not long ago and hadn't made any enemies. The police officer said sternly, "Comrade Lu Qi, do you think we, the police, would joke about such matters?" The crime suspects Jiao Weneng, Lu Qinian, and Lu Ru and others were caught red-handed by the villagers of Jinghua village. "You better come with us to the station." Lu Qi's smile froze at the corner of his mouth. Okay, just wait for me a moment." On the way, Lu Qi simply couldn't believe this was happening. It wasn't until he reached the police station that he was willing to accept this wasn't a dream. How could this be? Why would his parents and sister do such a thing? The family was split up and locked away. Upon seeing Lu Qi, Jiao Wenong became very agitated. Xiaoqi, you're here? You must save Mom. She's innocent. Go find a lawyer quick." Lu Qi said, "Mom, don't worry, they'll find you a lawyer right away. As long as you haven't done those things, I believe the police comrades will release you after they have investigated properly." Lu Qi still couldn't believe that his always gentle and kind mother could do such a thing. There must be some misunderstanding. In contrast to Jiao Weneng, Lu Qinian seemed especially calm. Sitting in the interrogation room, he seemed to have aged overnight. "These things were all done by me alone. They have nothing to do with my wife and child. They were all kept in the dark by me." Hearing this, Lu Qi was stunned. So, it turned out they really did these unforgivable deeds. But why would they do such a thing? "Dad!" Lu Qi rushed out. Why? Why did you do this?" Faced with his furious son, Lu Qinian chose to remain silent. Lu Qi's eyes turned red. He never imagined that his father, who was always a mountainous figure in his heart, could do such a thing. Suddenly, Lu Qi felt as though the sky was falling. His world turned dark. Lu Qi slid down against the wall and burst into loud sobs. He used to be a crybaby as a child, but since growing up, he had never cried again. This was the first time. Over at Lu Ru's side, "Comrade police officer. I'm innocent. I don't know anything, please let me go. Everything was done by my parents, I was asleep in the car at that time, I didn't know anything. Please let me out, okay?" Seeing the red-eyed Lu Qi, Lu Ru clung to him like a lifeline. "Brother, please save me. All this was done by Mom and Dad. I really didn't know. I didn't know anything. Brother, please save me. I don't want to be locked up here. I want to get out." Lu Qi was Lu Ru's lifeline, but Lu Ru became the last straw that broke Lu Qi. But was this still his sweet and lovely sister? Or was the harmonious family he remembered just a dream all along? By the time he left the police station, Lu Qi was still unsteady on his feet. How he wished all this was just a dream. After waking from the dream, their family of 4 would still be harmonious. Just then voices came from ahead. Lu Qi looked up to see Ni Yang and Zhao Shuiwe. He quickly stepped aside and hid behind a pillar. It wasn't that he hated Ni Yang, but he felt ashamed to face Ni Yang and Zhao Shuiwe. After his parents and sister had committed such a disgrace, he, as a son and an elder brother, bore some responsibility. If he had been more vigilant the night before, he might have noticed his parents leaving the mansion and could have possibly prevented this. It was all his fault. He was responsible. Lu Qi was filled with self-blame, pounding his own head in frustration. After leaving the police station, Lu Qi contacted a lawyer. No matter what, the people locked up were his parents, and no matter what they had done, he couldn't just sit by and do nothing. He left everything to the lawyer, and now all he could do was to hope for the best. Because Lu Qinian took on all the guilt, Jiao Wenong and Lu Ru firmly denied any involvement, and since only Lu Qinian's fingerprints were found at the scene, he was the only one sentenced to life imprisonment due to insufficient evidence. Jiao Wenong and Lu Ru were released on bail by Lu Qi. Having been released from the detention center, Jiao Wenong and Lu Ru had lost a lot of weight. Jiao Wentang's first words upon seeing Lu Qi were, "Xiaoqi, let's go back to Taiwan Island." She really couldn't stand staying in Beijing anymore. Lu Qi's face had lost its former luster and looked utterly defeated. "We can't go back now." "Why?" Jiao Wentang's complexion changed. Lu Qi continued, Your travel has been restricted, and now you can't even leave the urban area, let alone go back to Taiwan Island. Lu Ru's complexion was also very bad. The past several days in the detention center had worn her down to nothing. When can we go back, then? Lu Qi shook his head. I'm not very clear about that. Probably when you're cleared of suspicion, then you can go back. His father was still locked up and would never get out in this lifetime. The two of them, one a wife, the other a daughter, not only didn't have a word of concern, but only talked about wanting to leave. So this was family affection. How grand! Xiaoqi, you must find a way. Mom can't stay here. I can't stand it for a second longer. Jiao Wenong couldn't forget the look in Ni Kuihua's eyes that night. She was afraid Ni Zihua might suddenly remember something. The longer she stayed here, the more danger she was in. There's no way. Lu Qi coldly brushed away Jiao Wentang's hand. You child, how can you be like this? I'm your mother. Jiao Wenong looked at Lu Qi in disbelief. Lu Qi glared at Jiao Wenong. Exactly because one of you is my mother and the other my sister, I didn't turn a blind eye. Ask yourselves, does this truly have nothing to do with you? Don't forget. Dad is still locked up. Slap. Jiao Wentong slapped Lu Qi across the face. I'll kill you, you unfilial son. Chapter 966. The truth of the matter emerges, like stones revealed as the water recedes. Lu Qi didn't fight back, and a red, swollen handprint appeared on his left cheek instantly. But the look in his eyes when he turned to Jiao Wentong was terrifyingly cold. Lu Ru covered her mouth, watching the scene in disbelief. She hadn't expected Jiao Wentong to hit Lu Qi. All her life, she had never seen Jiao Wenong raise a hand against Lu Qi. In delivering that slap, Jiao Wenong regretted it herself. Son, Xiaoqi, I'm sorry. Mom didn't mean it. I just really want to go back. I didn't mean to leave your father. Her son was born after 10 months of pregnancy. How could she not feel pain for him? She was just too anxious. Lu Qi didn't want to help her. She couldn't return to Taiwan Island, and only Taiwan Island could give her a sense of safety. Xiaoqi, can you forgive Mom, please? Jiao Wenong hugged Lu Qi, tears streaming down her face. Lu Qi's face showed no emotion. You just got back from the detention center, go upstairs and take a bath, then get a good night's sleep. He didn't blame Jiao Wenong for slapping him, but he couldn't forgive her actions. But Jiao Wenong was his biological mother. He didn't know what to do. It seemed whatever he did was wrong. Every choice seemed to be a mistake. Jiao Wentong nodded. Okay. Lu Ru silently followed Jiao Wentong upstairs. After a hot shower, Jiao Wentang's condition had improved a lot. Meanwhile, in Jinghua village, the affairs of Zhao Shuyue had stirred up a storm. After so many years, everyone had just learned that Zhao Shuyu's real name wasn't Lu Zhao. She had her own name. Everyone fiercely criticized Lu Qinian and Jiao Wentong for being inhumane. Because Zhao Shuyue encountered an issue at home alone, Ni Yang once again offered to take Zhao Shuyue into the Ni family home. But Zhao Shuyue still refused. Zhao Shuyue wasn't willing to move, and Ni Yang didn't want to force her, so she brought Zhao Shuyue a 2-month-old puppy. The puppy was a Chinese rural dog. Chinese rural dogs were among the smartest and most loyal, easiest to raise dogs. Despite being only 2 months old, it was plump and fiercely protective, very protective of its owner. Zhao Shuyu's house already had Depang, so the puppy was named Xiaopeng. Ni Zuihua, after handling the matters at the factory, sat on the sofa and chatted with everyone. Yang, what ultimately happened with the case of Lu Qinian and Jiao Wentong? Ni Yang flipped a page of the newspaper she was holding. Jiao Wenong and her daughter Lu Ru have been released on bail, while Lu Qinian was sentenced to life imprisonment. Old Lady Zheng chimed in. It looks like Lu Qinian will die in prison, but how could Jiao Wenong have been released on bail? She was clearly in cahoots with Lu Qinian. Even if she wasn't the mastermind, she must have been an accomplice. This involved robbery and attempted murder. How could she be released? Ni Yang explained. Because Lu Qinian took all the blame himself, and only his fingerprints were found at Grandma Zhao's house, the police had no choice but to release her. Though Jiao Wenong has been released on bail, she still hasn't been cleared of suspicion and is not allowed to travel freely. The situation was twofold. While Lu Qinian wasn't a good husband to Zhao Shuyue, he was an invaluable husband and father to Jiao Weneng. Such a person was both pitiable and detestable. Old Lady Zheng nodded. I see, I didn't expect Lu Qinian to have such resolve. And Ai Cuihua frowned slightly. I always feel like I've seen Jiao Wenong somewhere before. Yang, do you know where she's from? It was the first time Ni Cuihua had mentioned this, so Ni Yang quickly put down the newspaper. About that, I once indirectly asked Lu Qi. He said Jiao Wenong is from Xiaomu village in Haicheng City. Xiaomu village? Ni Cuihua was startled since she had grown up in Xiaomu village. Ni Yang nodded. Ni Cuihua frowned again. Xiaomu village only has around 20 households. If she really is from Xiaomu village, there's no way I wouldn't have heard about her. Plus we don't have the Ji surname in Xiaomu village. Most in the Xiaomu village were surnamed Zhu and Ni. Ni Yang added, I also think it's strange. If Jiao Wenong really was from Xiaomu village, she couldn't possibly be unaware of Dam village, but when Lu Qi asked her if she knew about Dam village, she claimed she didn't remember. Xiaomu village and Dam village are adjacent. If Jiao Wenong truly came from Xiaomu village, she couldn't possibly be unaware of Dam village. But if Jiao Wenong wasn't from Xiaomu village, then how did she know about it? And why did Ni Cuihua find her so familiar? Chapter 967. The truth of the matter emerges, like stones revealed as the water recedes. _2. All of this was very strange. Only if you've seen someone before, can you find them familiar. Mom, think carefully, have you met Jiao Wenong before? Ni Yang continued to ask. Ni Cuihua pinched her temples. I can't remember, and every time I start to think about these questions, my head throbs painfully. It's really uncomfortable. Over the past few days, she still couldn't recall where she had seen Jiao Wenong before, and her head was still aching terribly. Ni Yang narrowed her eyes. Let me take a look at you. Ni Yang reached out to take Ni Cuihua's pulse. From the pulse, Ni Cuihua's body didn't show any abnormalities, but many issues couldn't be detected by pulse diagnosis alone and required instrumental examination. Mom, how about we go to the hospital for a CT scan? A headache is no trivial matter. CT machines were invented as far back as 1971, and it was now 1985, 14 years later. The CT technology in Beijing had matured considerably, it just wasn't as advanced as in later years. Do we really need to go through all that? Ni Cuihua said, it's just an occasional headache, not a persistent one. Ting Ting, let's go, health is not to be taken lightly, Grandmother Shangguan said. I will accompany you. Mrs. Jing nodded in agreement. Your mother-in-law is right, Ting Ting, I'll also go with you. Ni Yang picked up the car keys from the coffee table. Grandma's, no need for you to come, I can take my mom by myself. Hospitals are full of germs, and your immune systems aren't as strong as young people's. Besides, there's not much help you can offer by going. Ni Yang was making sense, so the two seniors didn't insist further. Ni Yang drove Ni Cuihua to the hospital. No matter when, the hospital was always overcrowded. After a long wait in line, it was finally Ni Cuihua's turn. After the CT scan, it took another hour to get the results. The patient has a slight cranial hematoma, which is causing the occasional headaches, but the condition is not particularly severe. It can be treated with surgery or by using acupuncture to expel the hematoma. Ni Yang reached out to accept the CT report. Thank you, comrade doctor. You're welcome, it's what I should do. Cranial hematomas are usually caused by head injuries. Ni Cuihua had been beaten quite badly by Mu Jinbao back in Dam village, and Mu Jinbao wasn't known for holding back. Could it be a leftover injury from that time? Fearing that Ni Cuihua might recall those unpleasant memories, Ni Yang refrained from asking further about the injury. When the mother and daughter arrived home, Shangguan Dehui was holding car keys, ready to leave. Dehui, where are you going? Ni Cuihua asked. Shangguan Dehui was startled. Dia, you're back. I heard from Mom that you and Yang Yang went to the hospital, so I was preparing to go there to check on you. By the way, how did the checkup go? Everything okay? Ni Cuihua smiled and shook her head. Nothing's wrong. Shangguan Dehui looked at Ni Yang. Yang, is your mom really okay? And I Yang said, there's a slight cranial hematoma, but it's not a major issue. A few acupuncture treatments will clear it up. Dad, you don't need to worry. When Shangguan Dehui heard the words cranial hematoma, his pupils shrank. How can it be okay with a cranial hematoma? Young, you better not be lying to me. And I Yang said with a smile, Dad, what are you thinking? How could I lie to you? It's really no big deal. Really no big deal? Shangguan Dehui asked uncertainly. And I Yang nodded. That's a relief. Shangguan Dehui sighed and took Ni Kuihua's handbag. Let's go inside. Grandmother Shangguan and Mrs. Zheng had already prepared the meal. Little Ni Yun was happily eating noodles while sitting on Grandmother Shangguan's lap. When she saw Ni Zihua and Ni Yang return, she rushed down from Grandmother Shangguan's lap with delight. Mommy! Sister! Duo mimicked her, flapping its wings and flying over. Mommy! Sister! The image of the two was filled with love. After dinner, Ni Yang performed acupuncture on Ni Zihua. Seeing the gold needles being inserted into Ni Kuihua's head one by one, Shangguan Dehui nervously extended his hand in front of Ni Zihua. Dia, does it hurt? If it does, you can bite my hand. Ni Zihua said with a smile, it doesn't hurt at all. Not only did it not hurt, it was quite comfortable. An acupuncture session lasted an hour, and by the time it was finished, it was already past 8 in the evening. That night, Ni Zihua had a very strange dream. It was fragmented. In the dream, she was first a 3- or 4-year-old child, then got separated from her mother. She walked for a long time and cried for a long time. Chapter 968. The truth of the matter comes to light _3. Panic, helplessness. Fortunately, on her way, she encountered a kind old lady who took her back home when she couldn't find her mother. The scene switched, and people from a village all gathered at the old lattice house to watch the excitement. The child, who was 3 or 4 years old, could already speak and successfully returned to Beijing with the help of the village chief. Just as she was about to return home, Ni Zihua suddenly woke up. Despite the coolness of the room, a layer of cold sweat broke out on Ni Kuihua's face. Ni Zihua fumbled to switch on the lamp and sat up leaning against the headboard. What's wrong, Dia? Shangguan Dehui groped for his glasses on the bedside table and put them on. Did you have a nightmare? Yes, Ni Zihua nodded. Don't be afraid. Shangguan Dehui patted Ni Kuihua's back. Dreams are the opposite of reality. I feel like I dreamed about my childhood, Ni Zihua said, but am not sure if that was me. Strange to say, a child of 3 or 4 should have their own memories, although incomplete, there should be some, but Ni Kuihua's memories of her childhood were extremely vague. She couldn't remember anything before the age of 5 or 6. What did you dream about? Shangguan Dehui asked as he got out of bed to pour water for Ni Zihua. Ni Zihua took the water glass, drank a sip, and then began to describe that strange dream. Shangguan Dehui adjusted his glasses. I think what you dreamed about is very likely to be true. Sometimes, the mind forgets, but the subconscious remembers. Ni Zihua said, but I clearly dreamed that the village chief grandfather sent me back to Beijing, so why did I end up in Xiaomu village later? Shangguan Dehui slightly furrowed his brows. Maybe the you in the dream was so eager to go home that the part about returning to Beijing was also added by your subconscious? Is that so? Ni Zihua asked. Shangguan Dehui glanced at his watch. It's only 1 in the morning now, and I don't have to work tomorrow since it's Saturday. To prevent you from having another nightmare, why don't we do something meaningful? Ni Zihua rolled her eyes at Shangguan Dehui. Turn off the light. Once the light was turned off, darkness enveloped the whole room, swallowing all sounds. Ni Zihua typically got up every morning to cook breakfast, but this morning, the person in the kitchen was Shangguan Dehui. Dad, why is it you? Ni Yang expressed her surprise. I thought it was Mom. Shangguan Dehui rinsed the pot with water. Your mom didn't sleep well last night, and I don't have to work today. Yang, what would you like to eat? I'll make it. Ni Yang opened the fridge and took out a bottle of mineral water. I'm fine with anything, you decide. That sounds good, Shangguan Dehui smiled. Then I'll just whip something up. Okay, Ni Yang took the mineral water. I'll go for a run first. All right, Shengguan Dahui nodded. And I Yang went for a run every morning. At 6 in the morning, the sun was just rising. The sky was a clear blue, a gentle breeze was brushing through, birds chirped around, the rich fragrance of honeysuckle lingered in the air, and by the road, the farmland was filled with roses and portulaca. The endless view was absolutely refreshing. As soon as I Yang stepped out, Duo followed. Good morning, Yang Yang. Good morning, Duo. Duo flapped its wings. Good morning. Good morning. Duo didn't know many phrases, sometimes repeating the same phrase dozens of times, even more repetitive than a loop machine. Along the road, as they encountered villagers at work, Duo kept repeating, good morning. Everyone was amused by Duo first thing in the morning, starting the day in a cheerful mood. Duo is really smart. It's Yang Yang's good upbringing. Indeed. My boy at home saw how well Duo was raised and caught a mina to rear a month ago. Just when it learned to fly, it disappeared. What a waste of time raising it. Lu family mansion. Jiao Wentong did not sleep well last night. Every time she closed her eyes, she recalled her experiences in the detention center. She didn't want to go to prison. Not at all. What should she do? Once that thing was discovered, she would be ruined. Jiao Wenong sat on the bed, painfully clutching her hair. If only she had never come back. She regretted it. Lu Qinian being locked up was secondary. She never truly loved Lu Qinian. Seriously, who in their right mind would fall in love with a man 30 to 40 years older than themselves? She was worried about her own safety. If she had not come back, she wouldn't have encountered Enai Tsuehua, and if she hadn't met Enai Tsuehua might not have remembered those things. Chapter 969. The truth of the matter comes to light _4. Enai Tsuehua had become a ticking time bomb to her. No telling when she might explode. No one would dare touch her on Taiwan Island, but this was Beijing, and she was restricted from traveling. Realizing this, Jiao Wenong rushed downstairs. Xiaoqi, Mom is begging you, please take me away. Shall we go back to Taiwan Island? Lu Qi sighed. Mom, you can't leave now. Think of something, Xiaoqi, think of something, Jiao Wenong continued. Since you managed to bail us out of the detention center, it means you must have a way, right? Lu Qi frowned slightly, suppressing the anger in his heart. Mom, the only reason you were released from the detention center was because of Dad. Dad took all the blame on himself. Otherwise, even if I were the Emperor of Heaven, I wouldn't have been able to bail out you and Xiaoru. Jiao Wentang's eyes instantly reddened. Then what should we do? Xiaoqi, is there really no way? Xiaoqi, I really can't stay here anymore. Mom, why are you in such a hurry to leave Beijing? Lu Qi grabbed Jiao Wentang's arm. Are you still hiding something from me? How much more were they hiding from him? Jiao Wentang instinctively avoided Lu Qi's gaze. No. Really? Lu Qi stared intently into Jiao Wentang's eyes. No. Jiao Wenong pushed Lu Qi away and hurried upstairs. Watching Jiao Wentang's retreating figure, Lu Qi let out a deep sigh and went to Lu Russ's room. Brother. Lu Qi grabbed Lu Russ's hand. Tell me honestly, are you and Mom still hiding something from me? After all, Jiao Wenong was his mother, and there were some things he couldn't directly ask her, so he had to start with Lu Ru. In Lu Qi's eyes, Lu Ru and Jiao Wenong were in this together. Lu Ru looked at Lu Qi blankly. No, stop pretending. Tell me. Lu Qi had lost all trust in Lu Ru. Tell me now, and it'll take you and Mom to the police station to turn ourselves in. Maybe we'll get a lighter sentence. Just don't let the police find out first. It would be embarrassing then. Really, there's nothing. Lu Ru, frightened by Lu Qi's demeanor, started crying. Brother, what are you talking about? Lu Ru had no idea about Jiao Wentang's past. The recent stint in the detention center had already terrified Lu Ru, smoothing out any haughty airs she once had. Speak. Lu Qi gripped Lu Russ's wrist tightly. There's nothing, Lu Ru cried miserably. Unable to get anything out of her, Lu Qi had to let it go. At the Ni family home, Ni Yang administered the third acupuncture treatment to Ni Tsuehua. After the acupuncture, Ni Tsuehua said to Old Lady Zheng, Mom, does Dad have a burn scar on his back? Old Lady Zheng was taken aback at first, then said, "Yes, it was caused by your grandmother accidentally scalding him with boiling water." And Quihua's face changed, realizing that everything that happened in her dream was true. "Mom." Ansuhua suddenly grabbed old lady Zheng's hand, her eyes becoming red. I remember everything." "Ting, what do you remember?" Old lady Zheng said nervously. "Don't rush, take it slow." With a choked voice, Ansuhua said, "I was sent to Xiaomu village, and the person who sent me was Jiao Weneng." Here's how it happened. After getting separated from old lady Jing years ago, young Ansuhua was picked up by a local old woman who, seeing the child's refined manner, decided to hand her over to the village chief. After several transfers, the village chief took her to Beijing. Upon arriving in Beijing, a beautifully dressed young woman appeared, claiming to know old lady Zheng and Zheng Jun, saying they were good friends, and so the village chief handed Ansuhua over to her. As soon as the village chief left, the young woman showed her true colors. Ansuhua bit her while attempting to escape, and, furious, the young woman picked up a nearby vase and knocked Ansuhua unconscious. The cerebral contusion suffered by Ansuhua dated from that time. Because she wasn't sent to the hospital in time, she developed a persisting high fever that night, terrifying the young woman. She took a night train and delivered Ansuhua to a rural family in Xiaomu village, miles away, along with some money. When Ansuhua woke up, she had no memory of her past. "I remember she had a sister, who called her Aji," Ansuhua said. Chapter 970. The truth of the matter, everything comes to light under the Aji. Yang narrowed her eyes. "The doctor's sister is named Jiang Ji." "Mom, the woman who took you to Xiaomu village was Jiang Ji, and Jiang Ji is Jiao Wenong. Haiqing City is just near the port, so it's easy for Jiang Ji to go to Taiwan Island from there. If Jiao Wenong was Jiang Ji, and Jiang Ji was Jiao Wenong, that would explain why Ansuhua was thousands of kilometers away from where she was lost. It also explained why Ansuhua felt a strange sense of familiarity when she saw the doctor and Jiao Wenong. Because Jiang Ji was the doctor's sister, she was helping her sister do evil. "Oh my!" Old Madame Zheng said distressedly. "My Ting, how much suffering have you endured?" Mingming was returned, only to be taken away by Jiao Wenong again. It was all because she trusted Jiang Yan too much at the time. Ansuhua helped old Madame Zheng wipe away her tears. "Mom, it's okay now, I'm fine." Yang picked up the car keys. "Grandpa, Grandma, Mom, we must hurry to the police station now and tell the police everything clearly." The case of Quihua's disappearance was still on record at the police station, just in case there was a chance for the truth to emerge. The family had to hurry, there was no time to waste. They raced to the police station. Lu Qi knew the police would knock on the mansion's door again one day, but he didn't expect it to come so soon. "Is Comrade Jiang Ji here? We are from the municipal police department, and this is an arrest warrant." "Jiang Ji?" Lu Qi asked confusedly. "Officer, are you mistaken? We don't have anyone named Jiang Ji here." Jiao Wenong was just coming downstairs at this moment, and upon hearing this conversation, her legs went weak. She remembered. She knew that one day Ansuhua would remember. Several officers bypassed Lu Qi and went straight to Jiang Ji, flashing handcuffs. "Jiang Ji, you are involved in a case concerning child trafficking, please come with us." Child trafficking? Lu Qi's eyes widened in shock. He never could have imagined Jiao Wenong committing such a crime. "Officer, you must be mistaken. My mother's name is Jiao Wenong, not Jiang Ji. Besides, she just arrived in Beijing less than 2 months ago. How could she possibly be involved in child trafficking?" Jiao Wenong cried out loudly. Xiaoqi, save me. Mom doesn't want to go to jail. Mom is innocent. Xiaoqi." One of the officers looked up at Lu Qi. "Jiao Wenong is just her alias, her real name is Jiang Ji." Jiang Ji was stunned. He looked at the woman before him, his mother, and felt she was a complete stranger. What else was his mother hiding from him? "Mom, I'm only asking you one thing right now." Lu Qi walked over to Jiao Wenong, his eyes red. "Am I really your biological child? Am I?" "Yes." "Xiaoqi, you are my biological child. You are my own son." I carried you for 10 months before giving birth to you, Xiaoqi. You can't ignore your mom now. Both Lu Qi and Lu Ru were Jiao Wentang's biological children. Although she didn't have much affection for Lu Qinian, she hadn't done anything to wrong him. Lu Ru was startled by the commotion downstairs and came down to see this scene, shocked. Mom. Brother. What's going on? Lu Qi pressed his temples in agony. Xiaoru, you must save Mom. Jiao Wentang shouted. The officers took Jiao Wentang away, and Lu Ru chased after them, watching helplessly as Jiao Wentang was put into the patrol car. Then, Lu Qi also drove Lu Ru to the police station to find out what was happening. After all, Jiao Wentang was his biological mother, and he couldn't just stand by indifferently. After arriving at the police station, Lu Qi learned the whole story. He hadn't realized that his mother had done such a thing when she was young, fleeing to Bay Island. All these years she had lived an idyllic life on Bay Island, but the family of the child she had taken was plunged into endless pain. Officer, may I see the victim? He asked. The officer was taken aback, probably thinking, your mother is a human trafficker, and you want to take revenge on the victim? Seeing that the officer might have misunderstood, Lu Qi continued, Officer, my mother has done something unforgivable, and my sister and I would like to apologize to the victim and their family. Perhaps an apology could hardly make up for anything, but without an apology he felt uneasy. Okay, the officer nodded, come with me this way. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The truth of the matter, everything comes to light _6. Lu Qi followed the police officer's steps, looking back at Lu Ru. Let's go. Lu Ru looked at Lu Qi incredulously. Had Lu Qi gone mad? At this time, to approach the victim and their family was blatantly asking for trouble. They might even get physically attacked. Brother! Lu Ru tugged at Lu Qi's sleeve. I must go. Lu Qi stated firmly, you're coming with me. With no other choice, Lu Ru had to follow. Upon reaching the lobby, the police officer introduced them. This is the victim, and these are the victim's family members. After saying this, the police officer introduced Lu Qi to everyone. Lu Qi had never expected that Ni Yang was the daughter of the victim. He already felt guilty towards Ni Yang, and now he was even more overwhelmed with shame. Seeing Ni Yang among the victim's family, Lu Ru was also stunned. She used to look down on Ni Yang the most, and now, unexpectedly, she had to apologize and admit her wrongs. What a twist of fate. If it were all possible, she would spend her entire life peacefully on Taiwan Island and never set foot in Beijing again. Unfortunately, the one thing the world lacks is a remedy for regret. Andy and I'm sorry. If it weren't for my mother, you wouldn't have been separated from Grandpa Zheng and Grandma Zheng for so many years. After he spoke, Lu Qi and Lu Ru knelt down together. A man's knees are as precious as gold. But at this moment he could no longer care about that. He did not pray for Ni Kuihua's forgiveness. He only hoped to satisfy his own conscience. Ni Tsuehua deeply resented Jiao Wentang. If not for her, she wouldn't have suffered for so many years, and she could have grown up with a silver spoon in her mouth. But Lu Qi was Lu Qi, and being a mother herself, she knew she should not take out her anger on the children. Children cannot choose their birth. It was evident that Lu Qi and Jiao Wentang were not the same kind of people. Please get up. And Ai Zuehua extended her hand to help Lu Qi and Lu Ru up. Good and evil will be repaid in the end. Your mother is already in prison. This matter has nothing to do with you too. And Lu Qi's eyes reddened. He hadn't expected Ai Zuehua to be so calm. Jiao Wentang had caused Ai Zuehua so much suffering, and Lu Qi had even prepared himself to be beaten, yet Ai Zuehua did not blame him at all. He was now starting to understand why Ni Yang was so outstanding, while his own sister Lu Ru was so inadequate. It was because of upbringing. Ni Yang had a mother who was both a role model and a teacher. Ai Zuehua sighed and looked back at Elder Zheng, Grandma Zheng, Elder Shangguan, and Ni Yang. Let's go back. Lu Qi watched the family's departing figures, his heart unable to calm down for a long time. After a while, Lu Qi turned to Lu Ru. Let's go back too. To celebrate finally finding the person who kidnapped Ni Zihua, Ni Yang had prepared a large table of food upon their return. Today happened to be Saturday, and in the evening, Shengguan Shi and Shengguan Su also came back. The next day was Sunday. Early in the morning, Ni Zihua and Shengguan Dehui went to the orphanage. Visiting the orphanage once a week had become a habit. Around 10 in the morning, Shengguan Furong arrived at Jinghua village with Zhao Ziqing. Coincidentally, just as they arrived, Zhao Shen also came with Zhao Zijuan. Brother! The siblings, who hadn't seen each other for a while, were extremely excited. Furong, Zhao Shen greeted. Shengguan Furong smiled and nodded. Zhao Shen felt a pang of disappointment, then said, Furong, how did you come back? Why didn't you call me to pick you up? Shengguan Furong replied, It's quite convenient for me to take a bus from there, no need for the hassle. It's no trouble at all, Zhao Shen said. Furong, just say the word, no matter the distance, I wouldn't find it bothersome. No need, Shengguan Furong smiled and walked into the house. Mom, Aunt Zheng. Furong is back, Grandma Zheng said cheerfully. Yes, Shengguan Furong nodded. Hey, where are my brother and sister-in-law? Elder Shengguan replied, Your brother and sister-in-law went to the orphanage, they probably won't be back until the afternoon. Oh, Shengguan Furong continued, what about Uncle Zheng? Is he not home either? He probably took Yun to clear some land again, Grandma Zheng explained, smiling. Clearing land? Shengguan Furong paused, not understanding what was meant by clearing land. Grandma Zheng continued, Did you see the roadside planted with lots of honeysuckle and peony flowers when you just came? Yes, Shengguan Furong nodded. That's what your Uncle Zheng and Yun cleared out, Grandma Zheng explained. Shengguan Furong smiled. I didn't realize Uncle Zheng had such a pastoral heart. He just loves to be busy, doing it himself would be fine, but he always has to take Yun with him. In the afternoon, Shengguan Furong and Zhao Shen took the children back to the Zhao family to visit Grandma Zhao. After they left, Grandma Zheng and Elder Shengguan chatted. Elder sister, do you think there's still a chance for Furong and Zhao Shen to remarry? Elder Shengguan sighed. I would like them to remarry, otherwise the children will suffer by following them, but Furong has never loosened up. So, does Zhao Shen want to remarry? Grandma Zheng asked. Elder Shengguan nodded. Grandma Zheng continued, as the saying goes, a prodigal son who returns is more precious than gold. As long as Zhao Shen truly repents, considering the children, remarriage is feasible. But we elders shouldn't interfere too much, Elder Shengguan, finding a confidant, quickly agreed. Exactly, I have tried both soft and hard tactics, but Furong just doesn't listen. I'm leaving it be now, let her decide, children and grandchildren have their own blessings. Grandma Zheng smiled. That's good, letting go sometimes makes things easier. Oh, Shengguan Su and Shengguan Shi aren't young anymore, have they found someone outside? Elder Shengguan shook her head. Nothing from Shengguan Su yet, and I haven't heard anything from Shengguan Shi recently either, probably not going well. Did she date someone before? Grandma Zheng asked. Elder Shengguan nodded. She dated a university classmate, but the man's family had 7 sisters. We won't talk about their family conditions, but anyone with eyes could see that his parents definitely favored sons over daughters. If Shengguan Shi could secure a son after marrying, that would be one thing, but if she had a daughter, her hard days would still be ahead. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The ice-cold skin surprisingly belongs to Ni Yang. In 1985, the family planning policy was very strict, with many people discarding their daughters hoping to have a son instead. Who could guarantee that they would have a son on their first try? So, when Shengguan Shi and that male classmate were dating, not only did Grandma Shengguan disagree, but both Shengguan Dehui and Ni Zuihua disagreed as well. Ni Zuihua, deeply affected by the preference for boys over girls, did not want her daughter to experience the same pain she had. Although Shengguan Shi was not her biological daughter, she loved her no less. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Zheng shook her head firmly. It's good that it ended, good that it ended. Xiaoxi is such an honest child, she couldn't have coped in that kind of family. Sheng Guanzai's personality resembled that of the deceased Su Fun, gentle and slow-spoken. If she had to deal with a difficult mother-in-law, she wouldn't manage. Mrs. Zheng continued, switching the topic. Xiaoxi would be more suited to a scholarly family. I think the Wu family is quite suitable. That young man over there is already 25 or 26, right? The Wu family was also well known in their circle, and Wu Chenjun was their only son. If Shang Guanxi married into their family, she would just need to be a wealthy wife. Grandma Shangguan nodded. Seems like it. Mrs. Jing, ever the matchmaker and considering that Shang Guanxi was her granddaughter, hoped for a good marriage for her. Old sister, if you agree, I'll speak to both children and try to arrange it? Grandma Shangguan brightened up at the suggestion. That would be fine. I'll ask around tonight to see if she has completely broken up with that male classmate. All right, Mrs. Jing nodded. That night, Grandma Shangguan approached Shang Guanxi. Xiaoxi, how are things with Xiaozhua? Zuoling was the name of Sheng Guanzai's boyfriend. Sheng Guanxi replied indifferently, we broke up. Grandma Shangguan beamed, really broke up? Grandma, I've already broken up with him, why do you seem so happy about it? Sheng Guanxi was a bit speechless. Grandma Shangguan thought to herself, how could she not be happy that she broke up with that kind of person? She even wanted to set off firecrackers to celebrate. But these thoughts were not appropriate to voice aloud. To others, it might just be seen as an experience, but to Shang Guanxi, it was a piece of her lost youth. Grandma Shangguan softened her smile. Xiaoxi, your grandma mentioned introducing you to that young man from the Wu family, what do you think? Not so good. Shang Guanxi immediately shook her head. I've grown up with Wu Chenjun since childhood, we're too familiar. If it were possible, it wouldn't have waited until now. Besides, even rabbits don't eat the grass by their burrow. Shang Guanxi really wasn't interested in Wu Chenjun. Our family and the Wu family are well matched, and old Wu's daughter-in-law is also virtuous. If this marriage really happens, they treasure you. Shang Guanxi slightly frowned. Grandma, people value love these days. All that talk about equal social ranking is such an outdated feudal idea. I don't want a marriage of matching status. I want to marry for love. A young woman in her 20s indeed dreams of romance. All right, Grandma Shangguan said helplessly. Ultimately, it's your own life matter. We as elders can only offer suggestions, but Xiaoxi, I must tell you, love doesn't fill the stomach. Some boys are slick talkers and misleading. You must protect yourself and not be taken advantage of. Shang Guanxi smiled. Don't worry, Grandma. I understand all that you've said. The next day, as Shangguan Dehui had no classes, Ni Cuihua and Shangguan Dehui took little Ni Yun to visit Zhou Danis' home. Dia, auntie and uncle are here. For children took the gifts from Shangguan Dehui's hands and ran into the house. Little Ni Yun followed them. Old Zhao had gone out to set up his stall, leaving only Zhou Dani and the 4 children at home. Hearing the noise, Zhou Dani immediately welcomed them. Dia is here. Brother-in-law, come in and sit down. With Ni Yang's guidance, Zhou Danis' living conditions had improved significantly. Each child was dressed in new clothes. There was even a television set in the living room. Since guests had arrived, Zhou Dani took out some money for the children to go buy groceries. Little Ni Yun also wanted to go with them. Zhou Dani instructed, take Yun Yun little sister with you, and make sure to watch over Yun Yun little sister, got it? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The ice-clear and jade-smooth skin actually belongs to Ni Yang. _2. Dashuan was 17 this year, Ershuan was 16, Sanchuan was 15, and even the youngest, Xiaoshuang, was now 9, so they could be trusted to look after little Ni Yun. Zhou Dani felt at ease. Dashuan patted his chest and said, Mom, rest assured, I'll take good care of Yun Yun. Go on then. Zhou Dani wanted to pat Dashuan's head, but realizing she could no longer reach it, she patted his shoulder instead. Zhou Dani gave them over 30 yuan, and the kids came back with a load of groceries, even buying a candied hawthorn for little Ni Yun. The Zhao family kids were all exceptionally well behaved. Although only little Ni Yun had a candied hawthorn, none of them made a fuss. After dinner, Ni Zihua and Zhou Danny chatted idly. Danny, have you bought a house in Beijing yet? Zhou Danny shook her head. No. My husband and I are planning to save money to build a house back in our hometown. At that time, people didn't like the idea of buying houses outside their hometowns. They all wanted to make money and then go back to build houses and honor their ancestors. And Suehua continued, Yang Yang told me that there will be more and more migrant workers coming to Beijing in the future, and the housing prices will get higher and higher. Actually, you could take advantage of the current low prices to buy a few properties. The money you'd spend on building a house in your hometown would be more than enough to buy one in Beijing. Did Yang Yang say that? Zhou Danny asked. Will there really be more and more people coming to Beijing to work? And Suehua nodded. Yes, Yang Yang said that Beijing is a metropolis and its development will only get better. Yang Yang himself has bought several properties. In reality, it was not just several. Ni Yang already owned 3 courtyard houses and 6 apartment buildings. Zhou Danny didn't trust many people, but she trusted Ni Yang. If it weren't for Ni Yang's advice, her family would still be living frugally. They had already saved up over 10,000 yuan. Back in the day, they couldn't even save 70 or 80 yuan in a year. Nowadays, they were living a life they could hardly have dreamed of before. So on festive occasions, Zhou Danny always took her family to visit the Ni family. They couldn't be the type to forget favors and betray kindness. Zhou Danny nodded. All right, when my husband comes back, I'll discuss this matter with him. And Suehua continued, Yang Yang also said that it's best to buy housing in the city center, and if money is tight, it's also good to buy near a subway station. The Beijing subway was planned in 1953, construction began in 1965, and the first routes were completed in 1969. Operations started in 1971. On April 23, 1973, the Beijing Subway Line 1 was extended to Apple Garden Station. On September 15, 1981, the first phase of the Beijing subway was officially accepted, with operational lines running from Apple Garden Station to Beijing Station. Zhou Danny nodded. Okay, I've got it. That evening when her husband came home, Zhou Danny relayed Ni Quihua's words. Her husband took a drag of his cigarette. So we're not going back to our hometown to build a house? No, we're not, Zhou Danny replied. I've already asked Daya. She said that if we buy a house now, we can register our household here. We'll move our household registration here, and from then on, this will be our home. Finishing her thought, Zhou Danny continued, it might be a risky move, but I think the child Yang Yang has foresight. Listening to her won't lead us astray. Besides, my brother-in-law also said it's a feasible plan, and he's a university professor. Her husband nodded. All right, I trust you. Shall we go look at houses tomorrow morning? The next morning, the couple went house hunting with their 4 children. Since they had 4 children, they needed a large place, and Zhou Danny found a 5-bedroom, 2-living-room house appealing. One of the living rooms could be turned into a bedroom to serve as a guest room. A 5-bedroom, 2-living-room house, with a total of 200 square meters, was a bare shell property, costing 35,000 yuan. The couple made a down payment of 15,000 yuan and had 20,000 yuan left in mortgage. Her husband, now a street vendor, was able to earn over 200 yuan a day, so the 20,000 yuan mortgage wasn't a problem for them. After purchasing the house, the couple finally felt a sense of belonging in Beijing. From then on, they would be people of Beijing. Today the weather was nice, and Ni Yang took 7 or 8 boxes of his skincare gift sets and visited Demingxian. Seeing Ni Yang arrive, Du Jiaojiao couldn't contain her excitement. You're finally here, gorgeous. Li Yao and I have been waiting for you for days. Nearly a month had passed, and Du Jiaojiao's skin had become much better, tender and glowing with a healthy rosy hue. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The ice-clear, jade-smooth skin actually belongs to Ni Yang. _3. Ni Yang smiled and said, I had some family matters the past few days, so I just got the chance to come over now. Sister Jiao Jiao, here is the radiant ice crystal skin you wanted. Du Jiao Jiao exclaimed in surprise, Big Beauty, you really know how to do it. Last time we went to buy radiant ice crystal skin, there was a line, and the limited edition sets were sold out. I'm going to call Li Yao right away. Okay, and I Yang nodded. Just after hanging up the phone, Li Yao arrived. Big Beauty. As soon as Li Yao arrived, she gave Anai Yang a big hug. Sister Yao Yao. Li Yao was 7 years older than Anai Yang, so Anai Yang called her sister. Big Beauty, I heard you brought the radiant ice crystal skin. As many as 8 sets. Is it true? Li Yao asked eagerly. After visiting the radiant ice crystal skin store last time, she had finally seen how in demand radiant ice crystal skin was. When she heard over the phone that Anai Yang had brought 7 or 8 sets, Li Yao couldn't believe it. After all, each person was limited to buying only 1 set in the store, and they were out of stock. Anai Yang nodded, yes. Wow, Yang, you are really amazing. Li Yao hugged Anai Yang excitedly. If it weren't for Wang Hingyang standing right there, she would have kissed Anai Yang. Anai Yang smiled and said, actually, radiant ice crystal skin is my own. Anai Yang originally came with the intention of promoting radiant ice crystal skin, so naturally she wouldn't hide this from them. There's a saying that having connections makes things easier. Li Yao was about to return to Shanghai, and Anai Yang wanted to expand radiant ice crystal skin into Shanghai. Having Li Yao, an acquaintance there, would make things much easier. What? Li Yao and Du Jiao Jiao thought they had heard wrong. Radiant ice crystal skin was Anai Yang's own product. Big Beauty, you aren't joking with us, are you? Li Yao asked. Anai Yang shook her head. I'm not joking, radiant ice crystal skin is really my own. Du Jiao Jiao surprisingly covered her mouth. Big Beauty, I think you should change your name. What name? Anai Yang didn't catch on right away. It should be changed to Big Amazing. Du Jiao Jiao said. Do you know how good radiant ice crystal skin is? It's so many times better than those imported products. It's literally a woman's savior. Whether it's anti-wrinkle cream or whitening cream, both are amazingly effective. Anai Yang somewhat embarrassedly said, it's not that exaggerated, just better than ordinary skincare products. The main reason was that this era had too few skincare products, and Anai Yang just happened to have medical knowledge, adding some herbal medicine beneficial to the skin in the skincare, which made radiant ice crystal skin so effective. Moreover, Anai Yang never added cheap harmful substances into skincare products because of cost concerns. Why couldn't domestic skincare brands surge in future times? It was because some people were greedy and produced toxic products like toxic masks and fluorescent creams, which gradually made people lose confidence in domestic skincare products. Big Beauty, you are too modest. By the way, Big Beauty, since you are the producer of radiant ice crystal skin, does that mean I can get whatever I want? Li Yao continued. Anai Yang nodded, of course. Li Yao then asked, can I buy some rose essential oil? Rose essential oil is especially good for women, but because the production is very low, thousands of pounds of roses can only produce a few grams of essential oil. It's very precious, even harder to get than the limited edition radiant ice crystal skin sets. You can, Anai Yang continued, but I only have 50 grams right now. She needed to keep some for her own use in baths. Li Yao nodded eagerly. That's plenty. 50 grams is a lot. Thank you so much, Big Beauty. It's great to have connections. No more worrying about not being able to buy what you want. Anai Yang smiled and said, why be so polite with me? By the way, Sister Yao Yao, when are you planning to go back to Shanghai? Probably the day after tomorrow, Li Yao continued. Let's keep in touch after I return. I might need more radiant ice crystal skin later on. By the way, Big Beauty, your radiant ice crystal skin works so well. Have you thought about expanding to Shanghai? Shanghai is full of wealthy people. I guarantee radiant ice crystal skin will sell like hotcakes there. Who doesn't love a good product? Moreover, which woman doesn't love beauty? As long as the product works well, women don't hesitate to spend money on their faces. Anai Yang hadn't expected Li Yao to voice her thoughts before she could. She smiled and said, Sister Yao Yao, I won't lie to you, I actually had the same idea, but I don't have many connections in Shanghai, so if I rashly try to expand there, if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Ice skin and jade-like complexion actually belong to Ni Yang. _4. You can ask me for help. Li Yao said with a smile, I was born and raised in Shanghai, there's nothing I can't get done here. Really? Ni Yang's eyes lit up. When she smiled, 2 shallow dimples appeared on her cheeks, and her eyes shone with starlight, as if the whole world brightened with her. Her beauty was stunning. In a fleeting moment of shock, Dee walked by outside the window and happened to catch this scene. He paused, fingers holding Buddha beads, and then walked towards the Buddha hall. Li Yao slapped her chest and said, Of course, it's true. Gorgeous, just leave this matter to me, and I guarantee you'll take care of it perfectly. As the saying goes, one feels obligated when taking from others. I've taken so much Ice Jade skincare product from you, Ni Yang, it's only natural to help you handle these matters perfectly. And these tasks were really nothing to Li Yao. Then thank you so much, Sister Yao Yao. When will you have time to discuss this in detail? Ni Yang hadn't expected Li Yao to agree so quickly. She wasn't prepared for so many things. How about tomorrow? I have to leave the day after. Li Yao thought for a moment. Ni Yang nodded. Okay, shall we meet at Noble Fragrance at 10 a.m. tomorrow? Sure. That night when she returned home, Ni Yang devised a very detailed plan, and she didn't fall into a deep sleep until late into the night. The next morning, just after 8, Ni Yang showed up at Noble Fragrance, spoke with Gu Lanji about some matters, and by 9:50, was waiting for Li Yao in the private room upstairs. Li Yao came alone. Ni Yang handed over a detailed plan for Li Yao to look at. After a while, Li Yao looked up at Ni Yang, her expression changed. Gorgeous, did you write this plan yourself? Uh-huh, Ni Yang nodded. Li Yao put down the plan and grasped Ni Yang's hand tightly. Gorgeous, can I follow you from now on, would that be okay? Li Yao's family was very well off. She was a carefree daughter of a wealthy family. Her fiancé Wang Hingyong also came from a good background, but Li Yao was more progressive in her thinking. She didn't want to end up as a housewife after marriage, revolving her life around children and a husband. Li Yao studied medicine, but she hated the smell of the disinfectant in hospitals. After much consideration, the best choice was to sell skincare products. Ice Jade was so effective, and with Ni Yang being someone with vision and talent, she believed that one day Ice Jade would take the world by storm. Ni Yang said with a smile, Sister Yao Yao, stop teasing me, I should be the one following you. Li Yao said very seriously, Gorgeous, I'm not joking, I'm very serious now. I've made up my mind. I want to be an agent for your Ice Jade. Can you bring me along, please? Once she became an agent for Ice Jade, she would be the leader of the skincare industry in Shanghai. Ni Yang had originally intended to use Li Yao to penetrate the market in East China, and she hadn't anticipated Li Yao's desire to be an agent, but this actually saved her a lot of trouble. Sister Yao Yao, are you sure you've thought this through? Li Yao nodded. I have thought it through. Ni Yang smiled and said, Well, in that case, Sister Yao Yao, let's go sign a contract. Previously, when Emily's mother, Annie, became an agent for Ice Jade, Ni Yang had drafted a contract. Now, all that needed to be done was to update the second party's name on the contract, not needing a new one. Okay. Li Yao stood up with her, then said, But, is it really okay to leave like this without buying anything? It's fine, said Ni Yang. Li Yao followed Ni Yang to Jinghua village. Recently, Mo Qishan had brought back a printer from abroad, so there was no need to go outside for printing the contract. It could be done right at home. While Ni Yang printed the contract, Li Yao admired the small courtyard of the Ni family. The roses on the wall swayed in the wind and greatly appealed to Li Yao's girlish heart. Oh my God! Isn't this too beautiful? Looking at the beautiful scenery in front of her, Li Yao even considered building a house in the countryside. Oh my God! Isn't this too beautiful? A sharp and strange voice echoed through the air. Li Yao looked around, frowning slightly. Who's imitating me? Who's imitating me? The voice seemed to be right by her ear, yet there was no one to be found. Li Yao grew somewhat nervous. Who are you? Who are you? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The ice-clear and jade-smooth skin actually belongs to Ni Yang. _5. This is just too weird. Li Yao gathered her hands and rubbed her arms. Are you a human or a ghost? Originally, Li Yao thought she would hear the same repeated words, but unexpectedly, the other party said, a ghost. Damn it, a ghost. Li Yao was so scared that her face turned pale. Just then, Ni Yang came out of the door with a smile. Duo, stop playing ghost tricks. Come on out. Chirp. Duo flew out from the dense osmanthus tree. Yang. Li Yao said in surprise, gorgeous. Was it this bird talking just now? Ni Yang nodded. Yes, it was. It's so smart. Li Yao reached out and stroked Duo's little head. What do you usually feed it? Duo squinted its small eyes and nuzzled against Li Yao's palm, its demeanor even meeker than a soft, cuddly kitty by more than a little. Li Yao's girlish heart instantly melted, and she kept saying how cute Duo was. Duo was a flirtatious bird, familiar with females but with males, no one could even touch it. Of course, Emo Chishan and Grandpa Du were exceptions. Before long, Duo learned to follow Li Yao and started calling Ni Yang gorgeous. Yang gorgeous. Gorgeous. Li Yao laughed and said, gorgeous, how much for your bird? I'll buy it. Upon hearing this, Duo flew faster than a rabbit, quickly landing on Ni Yang's shoulder and hiding its small head in her long hair, showing its butt to Li Yao. Shoot. Scared the bird to death. Seeing this, Li Yao couldn't help but laugh even more. This bird was just too funny. Ni Yang handed the contract to Li Yao. Sister Yao, see if there's anything that needs to be changed in the contract. Li Yao picked up the pen and signed, no need to change anything, I trust your character. Although she hadn't known Ni Yang for long, Li Yao knew she wasn't that kind of person. Just look at Jiao's attitude to know what kind of person Ni Yang was. Despite Jiao seeming quite approachable usually, she was actually fierce. Not just anyone could become friends with Jiao. None of the descendants of the Du family were weaklings. It proved that Ni Yang was indeed trustworthy. After signing the contract, Li Yao paid a part of the deposit. Once she had things arranged back in Shanghai, Ni Yang would send the ice-skin jade complexion via express delivery. Sister Yao, do you want to visit the factory? Ni Yang asked. Sure, Li Yao nodded. Is the factory far from here? Ni Yang said, not far, just behind here. Just behind? Li Yao was a bit surprised. Ni Yang nodded. Come on, I'll take you there. The factory was just behind the Ni family's small courtyard. Because the houses in front were built high, the factory was obscured, invisible from the outside. Before entering, the two of them put on sterile suits. Looking at Ni Yang, Li Yao couldn't help but exclaim, a beauty is a beauty, even wearing such an unattractive sterile suit you still look good. Inside the factory, Li Yao found that all the machinery was very advanced and the workers were very dedicated. Everyone was wearing sterile suits, with no safety hazards at all. But the factory seemed a bit small, consisting of only a few rooms, with a little over 30 workers in total. After coming out, Li Yao brought up this issue to Ni Yang. Ni Yang said, actually, I've been considering expanding recently. Ice-skin jade complexion was growing increasingly popular, and the current production was barely keeping up with sales. Fortunately, some products were limited edition, otherwise, there would be nowhere near enough to meet demand. Moreover, sales of ice-skin jade complexion were also quite good in M country, and almost every so often, Ni Yang would send a large shipment over. After a while, once the Shanghai market opened up, she estimated there would definitely be more demand than supply. So it was best to make plans early. Li Yao continued, actually, this time you could consider building a bigger one to save the trouble of expanding later, it's too much hassle. Ni Yang nodded, yes, you make a good point. Li Yao took off her sterile suit. If you're short on funds, you can tell me, setting up a factory, buying imported equipment, hiring a factory manager and workers, and procuring skincare ingredients, all of these added up to a significant amount of money. Some imported equipment could cost thousands each. And Yang said with a smile, "Thank you, but I think it should be enough." After Li Yao left, Yang sat in the courtyard, earnestly pondering this issue, and drafted a design plan. Since she wanted to expand the factory, the facilities had to be improved. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The ice-clear and jade-smooth skin actually belongs to Yang. _6. For instance, a worker's canteen, dormitories, restrooms, building such a factory would require a large plot of land, and one would first need to apply for land from the village. After finalizing the design plans, Yang went to find the village chief. Yang did this to drive the development of Jinghua village, and naturally, the village chief was more than willing. However, he could not make this decision alone, as the factory would occupy a large area, and it was necessary to have every person in Jinghua village agree and stamp the application form. Now, Yang was the pride of Jinghua village, so the process went very smoothly. There wasn't a single person who disagreed. After the villagers agreed, approval from higher authorities was still needed. Expanding the factory required many procedures, so, taking advantage of the approval period, Yang went to the Bureau of Industry and Commerce to get all sorts of permits in order. She definitely didn't want to open an unauthorized black factory. 3 days later, the land was officially approved, located at the eastern end of the village, about a 10-minute walk from the family. The area was originally wasteland, filled with weeds and trees, covering more than 3,000 square meters. Yang planned to construct a 10-story factory here, with offices in the front and employee dormitories in the back. Each floor would have 3 restrooms. To build the factory, of course, one must find Wu Jinshu. After all, Wu Jinshu now owned a construction company. A factory was no small order. As for Wang Tiniu and others, they had long since stopped doing such manual labor. Now they were at home growing roses and portulaca. When Yang approached Wu Jinshu, he expressed with some trepidation, "Yang, I'm afraid I might not do a good job." It was the first time Wu Jinshu had received such a large order since opening his business. Yang said with a smile, "Godfather, in the future, you might receive orders 10 or 100 times bigger than this one. What is there to be afraid of? Relax, I won't delay paying the wages." Wu Jinshu said, Yang, that's not what I mean. I'm just afraid I might not do a good job." Yang trusted him so much, what if he messed things up? Yang continued, "Godfather, the principle is the same whether it's a small order or a large one. As long as you work attentively, there will be no problem. I believe in you." After hearing this from Yang, Wu Jinshu felt much more relaxed and nodded. "Okay. Yang, when do you plan to start the work?" Yang said, "Godfather, if you can arrange things on your end, how about tomorrow?" Wu Jinshu nodded, "No problem." After finalizing the factory's arrangements, Yang began recruiting. Although the factory was not yet built, some preparations had to be made in advance, especially since the new factory was more than 10 times larger than before. More employees were needed than before. Yang planned to hire 300 general workers, as well as quality inspectors, accountants, a factory manager, clerical staff, and security personnel. All these positions together required over 400 people. It was impossible to recruit all these people in Jinghua village. Almost everyone in the village already had a job. So, Yang decided to recruit in the neighboring village. Yang's main goal was to drive the development of the village, so she didn't want to recruit from outside. Actually, Yang also had the intention of winning people's hearts. After all, the neighboring village and Jinghua village were very close. If the people from their village really wanted to sabotage, it would be quite easy. Instead of going to war, it was better to turn enemies into friends and earn money together. When Yang released this news, the neighboring village was stirred up immediately. You see, the wages Yang offered were 60 yuan a month. To get a job in a state-owned factory outside, not only did you need educational qualifications, but also connections, and the key point was the salary was only half of what Ni Yang offered. People came in droves to apply. Ni Yang wouldn't reject anyone except the elderly, as general labor didn't require much skill. It took Ni Yang a full 10 days to sort out the worker situation. Only the factory manager and some clerical positions were still unresolved. But there were still more than 3 months left until the factory building was completed, so there was no rush, as the factory manager was a crucial position leading a factory and couldn't be taken lightly. Time flew by fast, and in a blink, another 10 days had passed. Today was Yen Erju's birthday, so Ni Yang and Ni Tsuehua went to the Wu family to celebrate Yen Erju's birthday. Ni Tsuehua couldn't help but increasingly feel that Wu Yenyun was like her own lost daughter. While Ni Yang was helping Yen Erju cook in the kitchen, Shangguan Dehui was playing with little Ni Yun in the first-floor courtyard, Dalong and Erlong took Xiaolong out to find friends to play with, and Wu Jinshu hadn't returned from the construction site, leaving only Wu Yenyun and Ni Tsuehua in the house. Ni Tsuehua licked her dry lips and tentatively asked, "Yenyun, have you ever thought about finding your biological parents?" This matter was no longer a secret in the Wu family. Wu Yenyun shook her head. "No. Since they decided to abandon me, I have no need to look for them, and besides, my adoptive parents treat me so well, I don't want to do anything that would upset them." Ni Tsuehua felt a flicker in her brow, immensely disheartened inside, but still maintained a smile on her face. "What if they come looking for you?" Ni Tsuehua asked. Wu Yenyun said firmly, "Even if they come, I won't acknowledge them. From the moment they abandoned me, I ceased to be their child. People who abandon their children have no right to be parents." Wu Yenyun had never fantasized about her biological parents coming to find her, and even if they did, she definitely wouldn't give them another glance. "Then, do you hate them?" asked Ni Tsuehua. Wu Yenyun smiled. "Maybe, I don't know, I've never even seen their faces, so it's hard to feel hatred, but if one day I do meet them, I think I would hate them. What kind of parents were they, to throw away their own flesh and blood? Having been abandoned since she was a baby and never even tasted her mother's milk, how could she not hate them?" At the same time, Wu Yenyun also felt fortunate that she was picked up by Yen Erju. Though Yen Erju and Wu Jinshu were not her biological parents, they were more than real parents to her. Sometimes Wu Yenyun felt she was incredibly lucky. Wu Yenyun had heard from Ni Yang about Ni Qihua's situation and knew that Ni Tsuehua had previously abandoned 3 daughters, so she felt particularly sympathetic towards Ni Tsuehua. Seeing Ni Tsuehua like this, she comforted, "Auntie Hua, you had your reasons for abandoning your children, so I believe they definitely won't hate you." "Really?" Ni Tsuehua looked up at Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun nodded. "Really, Auntie Hua, you and Sister Yang Yang are good people, I believe your children will understand you. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible." The influence of the top national scholar. With Wu Yenyun's words, Ni Tsuehua felt somewhat better. No matter what, Wu Yenyun was still willing to forgive her. At noon, Wu Jinshu returned. Because he had just come back from the construction site, he was covered in dust, so Wu Yenyun quickly stood up to take the tools from Wu Jinshu's hands. "Dad, you're back. Go take a shower and we can start eating soon." "All right," Wu Jinshu greeted Shangguan Dehui, Ni Hua, and the others, then went to the bathroom to shower. Watching the sensible Wu Yenyun, Ni Qihua's eyes reddened slightly. Fearing that others would notice, she hurriedly took out a handkerchief to wipe her eyes. She wondered, if those 3 children hadn't been abandoned back then, what would the result be now? Soon after, Wu Jinshu finished his shower, and the food was laid out on the table. Ni Yang had taught Yen Erju quite a few cooking tips that day. Yen Erju greatly benefited and said with a smile, "Yang Yang, you're amazing. I've been cooking for most of my life and never knew that adding a bit of salt to the oil when frying fish would prevent it from sticking to the pan." There were also tips like adding a few drops of cooking oil when boiling rice to make it whiter, fluffier, and sweeter. Ni Yang said, "I heard it from the chefs at the restaurant. They have rich life experiences, I wouldn't know these things." In fact, These were all experiences Ni Yang had accumulated in her past life, but now, after all, she was just a teenage girl whose life experience couldn't possibly be so rich. Since the Wu family had many children, Ni Yang had brought a two-tiered big cake that day. Ni Yang was a person who could create a pleasant atmosphere. She led everyone in singing the birthday song, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." The children's voices were especially sweet and lovely. Yen Erju, wearing a birthday hat, stood in front of the birthday cake with a face full of happiness. It all felt like a dream to her. Before blowing out the candles, "Godmother, make a wish first," Ni Yang continued. Yen Erju said with a smile, "Then I wish that next year Xiaoyun can get into a good university just like Yang Yang, and that our whole family stays safe and healthy." Ni Yang smiled slightly. "Godmother, you have to make a wish in your heart, saying it out loud won't work." Yen Erju immediately put her hands together. Right, I'll make it in my heart then." This was Yen Erju's first birthday of this kind, and it was also her first time eating a birthday cake, and likewise, it was the first time for Wu Jinshu and the children to have birthday cake. The cream's sweetness, the cake's softness, and the fruit's fresh aroma made the cake simply delicious. On the way back from the Wu family, Ni Tsuehua said, "Dehui, the more I look at Yenyun, the more she reminds me of Erniu. Do you think she looks like me?" Shangguan Dehui nodded. "I think so too. The child has been well raised by the Wu family, she's very sensible." This was also the most comforting thing for Ni Tsuehua. As she spoke, Ni Tsuehua turned towards Ni Yang. "Yang, when can we expect the results from that paternity test you mentioned last time?" Ni Yang, one hand on the steering wheel, the other brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear, replied, "It should take about a month or so. Mom, don't worry, once the results are out, the hospital will notify us." Ni Tsuehua nodded and continued, "Yang, if Yenyun really is your second sister, do you think she will forgive me?" Ni Yang thought for a moment. That's hard to say, although she had already prepared Wu Yenyun earlier, but after all, the person who was abandoned was her. Sometimes, a bystander's perspective and an experiencer's feelings are completely different. Ni Tsuehua sighed. "I wronged those three children." Shangguan Dehui put an arm around Ni Kuihua's shoulder. "Daya, it's not your fault." It was soon time for the new school term, and Ni Yang had previously promised Han Xiaoyu to treat her to a meal. Ni Yang cycled to the Han family to find Han Xiaoyu. When she arrived, Han Xiaoyu wasn't at home, but Han's mother, Sing Ni Yang, was especially enthusiastic. Yang, you're here to see Xiaoyu, aren't you? Come in and sit down. Xiaoyu isn't home right now, I'll go call her for you." Although Han's mother had only met Ni Yang once, she had seen her again on television. Ni Yang was the national top science scorer. Thinking that her daughter was classmates with the top science scorer made Han's mother feel honored. And Han's mother was very grateful to Ni Yang. Without Ni Yang's tutoring, Han Xiaoyu wouldn't have been able to get into a first-tier university. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The influence of the top national scholar. _2. 2 years ago, when Xiaoyu took her college entrance exam, she only got into a junior college. Actually, her usual grades weren't bad, it was just that something would go awry every time it came to taking tests. Ni Yang smiled and said, "Annie Han, since Xiaoyu isn't at home, I'll come by again tomorrow." Come in, Xiaoyu's mom pulled Ni Yang, not letting her leave. "Xiaoyu is just at the neighbor's house not far ahead, I'll go and come back quickly, you mustn't leave, okay?" Faced with such enthusiasm from Han Xiaoyu's mom, Ni Yang found it hard to decline any further, so she simply said, "Then I'll trouble you, Auntie Han." "No trouble at all, no trouble, it's the least I can do," Xiaoyu's mom said while waving her hand hurriedly. As they stepped out of the courtyard, a neighbor asked Xiaoyu's mom if a relative had come to visit. Xiaoyu's mom smiled and said, "No, not a relative. She's Xiaoyu's desk mate, the national top scorer in science this year, the one who has been on TV before. Do you know of her?" Every parent with a child cared about the college entrance exam results. "Of course, we know. Speaking of that girl, not only are her academic grades excellent, But she's also pretty. Oh, if I were her mother, I'd be laughing even in my dreams. Auntie Han, is the top scorer really at your house? Someone else expressed skepticism. Really, Xiaoyu's mom continued, I'm going to call Xiaoyu back home. In a while, you all could come over to my house, the top scorer is at my place. With that said, Xiaoyu's mom went off to look for Han Xiaoyu. When hearing that Ni Yang had come, Xiaoyu was particularly overjoyed. Mom, Yang really came? Xiaoyu's mom said with a smile, You child, would I joke with you? Xiaoyu continued, Then Yang must have come to treat me to a meal. Treat you to a meal? Xiaoyu's mom asked, puzzled. Yes. Xiaoyu nodded, adding, Yang scored the top score, right? She promised me before. Xiaoyu's mom took out 30 yuan from her pocket and handed it to Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, when it's time to eat, you should pay the bill. Yang has helped you so much, you can't let her pay. When Xiaoyu saw the 30 yuan, she was delighted. Mom, when did you become so generous? It was known that Xiaoyu's mom's monthly salary was only 50 yuan a month. They usually only bought meat once during the entire winter holiday. It was unexpected that she would be willing to pull out 30 yuan all at once. Hearing this, Xiaoyu's mom said without words, When has your mom ever been stingy? When you go out to eat with Yang, you certainly can't choose too shabby a place. Take it. You have to spend the money where it matters. Yang is a friend worth making. Xiaoyu nodded, Okay, I understand. Just as the two of them reached the Han family's house, they saw a crowd of people waiting at the door. Xiaoyu was stunned. Mom, why are there so many people at our door? Xiaoyu's mom said with a smile, They are all here to see the national top scorer. Being able to see someone who had been on TV at that time was not an easy feat, and since Ni Yang was the national top scorer, her popularity naturally rose. Everyone wanted to see what the national top scorer actually looked like. Xiaoyu swallowed hard. She was a bit worried that Ni Yang might be unhappy seeing so many people flock to her house. The result proved that Xiaoyu had worried too much. Not only was Ni Yang not angry, but she was also very enthusiastic, always maintaining a smile on her face, dimples showing shallowly. Wow, this girl is even more beautiful than on TV. Goodness! I didn't expect to see her in person today. Young lady, how is your brain wired? How did you manage to score top in the nation? Young lady, can we take a photo together? It's said that a top scorer is the reincarnation of the Wenchang star from the heavens. Young lady, can we take a photo together? Let us also share a bit of the Wenchang star's good fortune. Sure, Ni Yang nodded. I just so happened to have brought my camera. Seeing that Ni Yang agreed, everyone was very happy. They thought Ni Yang would refuse such a request, but she was approachable. Ni Yang being approachable made Xiaoyu's mom very happy. She liked Ni Yang even more, seeing that Ni Yang didn't let her down, made her look good in front of the neighbors. Of course, she liked Ni Yang. Ni Yang set the camera to automatic mode and took quite a few photos with everyone. After leaving the Han family's house, Xiaoyu said, Yang, everyone really likes you. That's right, Ni Yang said with a mix of pride and coquetry. I'm so good-looking, beloved by all, flowers bloom at my sight, and birds are stunned into silence. How could people not like me? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The influence of the top national scholar. _3. Han Xiaoyu, come on up. Ni Yang braced one foot on the ground, the other on the pedal, and looked back towards Han Xiaoyu as the sunlight turned her profile snow-white, refined as jade. Everything behind her became a backdrop. Even Han Xiaoyu, a girl herself, was dazzled for a moment, before saying, Yang, you're going to take me? Emchim. Ni Yang nodded. Han Xiaoyu said with a smile, I'm quite heavy, can you really carry me? That wasn't a joke. Xiaoyu, at 1.67 meters, weighed 120 pounds. She didn't look overweight, but her muscles were particularly firm. I can carry you. Ni Yang's gaze was indifferent. Really? Han Xiaoyu was skeptical, eyeing Ni Yang's slim figure. barely weighing a few dozen pounds, could she really manage it? Really? And Yang said with a smile, hurry up and get on then. Han Xiaoyu hesitated, then sat on the bicycle's rear seat, holding onto Yang's waist, and expressed her astonishment. Wow, your waist is so thin. There's not even a bit of excess fat. Typically, when people sit down, there's at least a little bit of fat around the waist, but Yang's waist was utterly devoid of any. So slender it could be encircled with a hand. It made one die with envy. Yang spoke with a smile. If you like it, you could have it too. I could have it too? Han Xiaoyu asked. Yep, Yang nodded, then continued. A good figure is all about eating right. They'll write you a dietary plan someday. If you eat according to it, just give it 3 months and you'll have an unbeatable figure. Really? That's great. Han Xiaoyu nodded eagerly. Yang pushed off with her foot. Hold on tight, we should get going. The sudden movement made Han Xiaoyu quickly tighten her grip on Yang's waist. They were moving fast, and Xiaoyu hadn't expected Yang to actually be able to carry her. Impressive, truly impressive. No wonder she was the top student in the whole city. The sunlight was just right, the years serene. The two of them, riding along, laughed incessantly. Isn't that my junior sister? Wang Ziki suddenly spotted a very familiar figure. Duo turned to look and saw a person cycling past, leaving behind just a glimpse of a white skirt hem. Before Duo could speak, Ziki went on, my junior sister is incredible, carrying someone on her bike and still cycling so fast. Let's go, Duo said, withdrawing his gaze with a cool tone in his voice. Ziki realized he had said too much and promptly shut his mouth, following Duo's lead. Yang parked the bike in front of the Gus Tianxiang, and Han Xiaoyu asked in surprise, Yang, why did you stop here? I'm taking you out to eat, Yang answered with a smile. Out to eat? Han Xiaoyu swallowed hard. This is Gus Tianxiang. At first, she had just jokingly suggested it but hadn't actually expected to dine at Gus Tianxiang. I know this is Gus Tianxiang. I wouldn't have come if it weren't. Come on, let's get off. We're going to eat here today, Yang replied decisively. She always kept her word. Since Shed promised Han Xiaoyu to eat at Gus Tianxiang, of course, they had to come. Han Xiaoyu got off the bike. Yang, but I heard Gus Tianxiang is really expensive and you need a membership card. With this long queue at the door, if we don't have a card, how long will we have to wait? Though Xiaoyu had never been to Gus Tianxiang, her cousin from her aunt's side had. Her aunt's family was much better off than hers, but her aunt didn't have a membership card. They had only been to Gus Tianxiang once, and though it was just that single time, they had bragged about it repeatedly, mentioning it every time they met. Yang propped up the bike. No worries, I have a membership card. Really? Han Xiaoyu's mouth hung open in surprise. Really? Yang took Han Xiaoyu's arm. Let's head inside. The moment they stepped through the grand entrance of Gus Tianxiang, Xiaoyu was stunned. The dining hall was packed, yet it wasn't chaotic. Instead, it was orderly, with waiters decked in hanfu darting between the tables, the surroundings and decorations beautifully arrayed, dreamlike and enchanting. So beautiful! Han Xiaoyu couldn't help but exclaim. It wasn't until they reached a private room on the 3rd floor that Han Xiaoyu understood what a true paradise on earth was. Yang ordered many dishes, all of which Han Xiaoyu had never tried before. As each dish was served, the waiter would introduce it. This one is called Flowers of Wealth and Honor, with the wish that both of you will have a bright future, full of wealth and honor. With those words, the waiter tapped gently with a small spoon. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The influence of the national top scholar. _4. Snap. The round, eggshell-like item cracked open, and as the smoke dispersed, a strikingly lifelike peony flower emerged. Is this a real flower? Han Xiaoyu asked. No, the waiter shook their head. It is carved from cream and pudding with a layer of mango at the very inside. You should try it. Han Xiaoyu scooped a small piece and tasted it, squinting her eyes with satisfaction. Oh my god. This is delicious. Yang, you have to try this. And Yang also took a bite. Indeed, it's good. Han Xiaoyu held a spoon in one hand and the dessert in the other. Yang, take a photo of me, I want to show it off when I get back. It wasn't easy for her to come to Peony Flower, so of course, she wanted to boast about it. And Yang picked up the camera and snapped several photos of Han Xiaoyu, not minding the cost of the film at all. After the meal, Han Xiaoyu intended to pay the bill, but upon touching her pocket, she found only 30 yuan and thought better of it. This amount wasn't even sufficient to cover the loose change. When she graduated and started making money, she resolved to treat Yang to delicious food from all over the world. After their meal, the two left the restaurant, and Yang took Han Xiaoyu to the photo studio. Han Xiaoyu asked in surprise, Yang, you have a camera, right? Why are we going to a photo studio? I'm here to pick up some photos. Yang said, a few days ago, I left some film here for the boss to develop. The photos Yang had developed were from the recent graduation photo session at school. Oh. Han Xiaoyu nodded in understanding. The young lady is here, your photos are ready, said the kind, elderly boss in his 60s. Thank you. Yang took the envelope with the photos. How much do I owe you? The boss said, 300 photos total up to 3 yuan and 50 cents, but 3 yuan will do. Han Xiaoyu quickly pulled out 3 yuan and handed it to the boss. Here you are, boss. The boss accepted the 3 yuan with a cheerful smile. Yang said with a smile, you don't have to pay, I have money. Han Xiaoyu replied, you've already spent quite a bit at Peony Flower, it can't always be just you paying. Just then, the photo studio boss spoke up, young lady, I kept a negative of this photo. May I display it in the studio as a sample? It was a photo of Yang and Han Xiaoyu together. Yang smiled and said, I'm okay with it, Xiaoyu, what about you? Han Xiaoyu said, I'm fine with it too. Thank you. The boss hurriedly expressed his gratitude and then said, young lady, I see your photos were taken at the city number 3 middle school, you look somewhat familiar. Are you the national top scorer Yang from this year? This year's national top scorer was famously well known. After the interviews from the TV station, she became a household name. Previous national top scorers had always been boys, but this time a girl had achieved it. It goes without saying that Yang had fiercely won pride for girls. At that time, people didn't value girls' education much. In a class of over 50 students, almost 60, there were only 15 girls. The rest were boys. Yang had shattered the stereotype that girls are innately poor learners. As a result, more families will start sending their girls to school. It was precisely to set a good example with Yang that the TV station came over for several interviews, and she was even featured on the national news broadcast twice. Thus, many who followed the news felt a faint sense of familiarity upon seeing Yang. Before Yang could reply, Han Xiaoyu hastily nodded, yes, yes, yes. Grandpa, your eyesight is excellent. This is this year's national top scorer. From now on, your photo studio can be renamed the Top Scorer Photo Studio. Oh my! The boss was utterly thrilled. I knew this young girl looked familiar. So she really is the top scorer. Here, take your money back. From now on, you both get free photo developing whenever you come here. The boss handed the money back to Han Xiaoyu. Han Xiaoyu smiled and said, you keep the money, boss. Who does business without charging? We can't have you losing money on our account. As Han Xiaoyu refused to take the money back, the boss reluctantly kept it while inwardly marveling at how much more understanding and mature students were nowadays. As the national quality improved, China would only continue to grow stronger. After collecting the photos, Yang took Han Xiaoyu to the post office. Yang, are you really going to send all these photos to our classmates' homes? Han Xiaoyu was somewhat surprised. She had thought Yang was only speaking off the cuff. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The influence of the top national scholar. _5 And I Yang really meant it when she said she would keep her word. And I Yang said with a smile, a person must be trustworthy. Having promised my classmates, I wouldn't go back on my word. There were 58 classmates in class 5, and each one of them got a photo taken with N.I. Yang. Some had 2, others had 3. Apart from Han Xiaoyu and N.I. Yang herself, a total of 56 were to be sent out. At that time, there were no machine-generated shipping labels, so addresses had to be written by hand. N.I. Yang took out a notebook with her classmates' addresses and, with Han Xiaoyu's help, they filled out all the addresses in less than 20 minutes. N.I. Yang sent them express, which meant they would reach her classmates in about 3 or 4 days. The shipping cost was a total of 26 yuan, and once again, Han Xiaoyu rushed to pay. When the classmates received these photos, they were all very surprised. None of them had expected N.I. Yang to actually keep her promise. When they took the photos, none of them thought she would truly send them. It must be said that N.I. Yang added quite a few vibrant strokes to their high school life. And N.I. Yang easily won a great deal of goodwill. After all, these classmates would one day be pillars of the country. Demi Villa. After Liao left, Du Jiaojiao was bored at home. All Elder Du did was sit in the Buddha hall and chant incessantly, so much that her ears were about to develop calluses from the noise. Stop chanting already. Yang Yang will be starting school soon, and I'd like to visit Yang Yang's home. Are you coming? Du Jiaojiao leaned against the door, arms crossed. Apart from the birthday visit, it had always been N.I. Yang visiting them at Demi Villa. They had not yet gone to the N.I. family home. After waiting for a long while without a reply, just when Du Jiaojiao thought he wouldn't go, Elder Du put down his wooden fish and said, "Let's go." Du Jiaojiao was taken aback. You're coming too? Elder Du nodded. I heard Yang Yang has moved out. She doesn't live with the Zheng family anymore. Do you know the way? Du Jiaojiao asked. Elder Du twisted the Buddha beads. Ziki knows the way. Wang Ziki and his parents had visited the Ni family several times. Oh. Du Jiaojiao nodded, then asked, there are a lot of elderly people at Yang Yang's home and a little sister too. What do you think we should buy as gifts? Elder Du, with a distant expression, responded, you decide. Okay. Du Jiaojiao ordered several nutritional supplements and toys for children to be delivered before she and Elder Du set off for the Ni family home. Before arriving at Jinghua village, Du Jiaojiao's perception of the countryside was that it was dirty and disordered. She could not have imagined that the environment in Jinghua village would be so beautiful. The scenery was picturesque. Absolutely gorgeous. Junior sister. Junior sister. Wang Ziki stood at the door knocking. Ziki is here. The one who opened the door was old Madame Zheng. Elder Du and Miss Du are here too, come in. Elder Du's reputation was influential within 10 miles. Even nonagenarians would address him respectfully. Elder Du said modestly, in your presence, I am the junior. You can just call me Xiaodu. Du Jiaojiao also smiled and said, Grandma, my name is Du Jiaojiao, just call me Jiaojiao. Old Madame Zheng didn't bother with further pleasantries and led them inside. Once inside the Ni family courtyard, Du Jiaojiao couldn't help but admire how beautiful the small courtyard was designed. Especially those 2 rose walls. They were just stunning. Old Madame Zheng laughed. This yard and house were designed by Yang Yang. Really? Du Jiaojiao exclaimed in surprise. Old Madame Zheng nodded. This child takes after her maternal grandfather. She loves to be creative and adores flowers and plants. Elder Du observed the courtyard discreetly and noticed that not only was the design appealing, but the feng shui setup was also very clever, interconnected throughout. It seemed her claims of knowing fortune-telling did indeed hold some merit. Inside, Shengwan Granny was teaching little Ni Yun an ancient poem. Upon the guest's arrival, she immediately stood up. Elder Du, Miss Du are here. You're too polite, just call me Xiaodu. Elder Du repeated what he said to old Madame Zheng. Du Jiaojiao also smiled and suggested they call her by her name. Little Ni Yun was very outgoing and immediately ran over to grab Du Jiaojiao's skirt, saying, hello, beautiful sister. Du Jiaojiao generally didn't like children much, since they tended to cry, which she found annoying, but upon seeing the adorable little Yun Yun, She was instantly full of maternal affection, mainly because being called beautiful sister was just too pleasing. You must be little Yun Yun, right? Du Jiao Jiao picked up little Ni Yun. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. The influence of the national top scholar. _6. Little Ni Yun nodded. Yes, my name is Ni Yun, the Yun from my sister's Ni Yun. Yun Yun is awesome. Du Jiao Jiao pinched little Ni Yun's face. Will you give your big sister a kiss? Sure. Little Ni Yun kissed Du Jiao Jiao fiercely. A while later, Du Jiao Jiao realized that Ni Yang wasn't home. Grandma, where is Yang Yang? Is Yang Yang not home? Madame Shangguan said. She was just here. She disappeared in the blink of an eye. As soon as she finished speaking, there was noise at the door. Granny! Grandma! I'm back! Ni Yang pushed the door open, carrying 2 big fat fish in her hands, her clear face smeared with a drop of mud, like a stroke of thick ink mistakenly entering clear water, which, far from looking awkward, added a touch of charm. She wore no shoes, her trouser legs rolled up to her calves, revealing a segment of her fair and lovely leg. Seeing the guests in the house, Ni Yang exclaimed in surprise, Big brother Du, sister Jiao Jiao, how come you're here? Du Jiao Jiao said with a smile. Why? Aren't you happy to see us? Ni Yang smiled slightly. How could that be? I couldn't be happier. Have a seat, they'll take the fish to the kitchen. I'll go with you. Du Jiao Jiao linked her arm with Ni Yang's. Okay. Ni Yang nodded her head and led Du Jiao Jiao to the kitchen. After delivering the fish to the kitchen, Ni Yang washed her feet under the garden tap, found a pair of slippers to put on, and casually washed her face. Du Jiao Jiao said, Yang, your house decoration is really nice. I heard from your grandma that you designed it yourself. Ni Yang nodded. I did design it myself. Initially, it was just for fun. I didn't expect the outcome to be this appealing. Perhaps finding the room stuffy, old Du and Wang Ziki came to sit down by the small stone table in the yard. Madame Zheng brought some pastries and tea. Old Du stood up and said, You are too polite. Madame Zheng smiled. There's no need for politeness. Just relax, old Du and Xiaodu. When Du Jiao Jiao saw the mung bean cakes on the plate, her brow twitched with worry, because old Du doesn't eat legumes. He surely wouldn't embarrass an elderly lady, would he? Just as Du Jiao Jiao felt anxious, she saw old Du take a piece of mung bean cake and taste it. It tastes very good. This must be homemade, right? Madame Zheng smiled. Exactly, Yang Yang just made them yesterday. They're very fresh. Seeing this, Du Jiao Jiao breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, old Du didn't make the old lady feel awkward. Otherwise, it would have been embarrassing. Plop! Just then, a small bird landed on old Du's shoulder. You little rascal, you've come. Are you still holding grudges? Can't you change the nickname? Old Du took out a grain of bird food from his pocket to feed Duo Duo. Duo Duo pecked at the bird food. Du Qingfeng. Du Qingfeng. My name is Du Qingfeng. Old Du. Du Jiao Jiao was stunned. How did Duo Duo know old Du's real name? After all, in the entire 10-mile port, the number of people who know old Du's real name did not exceed 10. This was really bizarre. Old Du actually told his name to a bird. If those outside found out, wouldn't they be furious? Little bastard, want more to eat. Duo Duo pecked at old Du boldly. Little Ni Yun ran over from not far away, panting, and said to old Du, Brother, your name is really strange. That's what my grandpa calls people when he curses. Old Du kept smiling. On the surface, grinning from ear to ear. Inside, swearing a streak. Ha! Du Jiao Jiao couldn't help but burst into laughter, holding her stomach. For the first time in her life, Du Jiao Jiao saw old Du lose face. It was just too rare. Ni Yang picked up the basket, preparing to get some vegetables. Sister Jiao Jiao, do you want to come with me to the village? Sure, Du Jiao Jiao replied enthusiastically. The two of them went to the fields together. From afar, Du Jiao Jiao smelled a strong fragrance of roses, which was very pleasant. Yang Yang, are there roses planted here? Du Jiao Jiao asked. And I Yang smiled and said, Sister Jiao Jiao, turn around and look behind you. Du Jiao Jiao turned around and was stunned, covering her mouth with both hands, eyes filled with shock. She saw behind her a vast expanse of fiery red. It was September, and the farmland was filled with blooming roses, stretching to the horizon, a sight so beautiful it was breathtaking. It had a monumental presence. Du Jiao Jiao had seen roses before, but she had never seen such a large expanse of roses. Combined, these roses must cover several hundred yuan? So beautiful! Du Jiao Jiao exclaimed in shock. Yang, are these all roses? And I Yang nodded. These roses are the raw materials for essential oils and hydrosols. Du Jiao Jiao continued, Yang, can we go over and take a closer look? Of course. The two of them went to the rose field. Du Jiao Jiao was overjoyed, stretching out her arms and saying, it would be great if we had a camera. And I Yang laughed and said, we have a camera at home, we can come back here to take pictures after lunch. Really? That's great. Du Jiao Jiao continued, can I pick some roses to take back? A peasant woman walked by, smiling and saying, you can pick as much as you like. And I Yang greeted her with a smile, Sister Kain. Sister Kaiyan said, Yang, is this your friend? Let her pick as much as she wants. My place doesn't have much, but we have plenty of roses. And I Yang nodded, thank you, Sister Kaidan. Du Jiao Jiao also expressed her gratitude. She could feel that Ni Yang was very popular in Jinghua village because the villagers' smiles were genuine. Du Jiao Jiao picked a large bunch of roses to take back, and Ni Yang discreetly counted them, planning to settle the account later with Sister Kai Tian. Coincidentally, not long after, Yan Erju and Wu Jinshu and their family of 6 also arrived. Wu Jinshu came specifically to thank Ni Yang. If it weren't for Ni Yang, he wouldn't have landed such a big project, and Ni Yang's family had been really good to his family. Seeing Mr. Du again, Wu Yenyun was startled. She didn't expect to meet Mr. Du at Ni Yang's house. She was even more surprised that Ni Yang and Mr. Du knew each other. Ni Yang took the initiative to introduce them. Godfather, Godmother, Yenyun, this is my good friend Mr. Du, and this lady here is Miss Du. This is my master's son, Wang Ziki. Mr. Du nodded at them. Du Jiao Jiao said with a smile, Uncle, Aunt, just call me Jiao Jiao. Wang Ziki followed up, Uncle, Aunt, you can just call me Ziki. After speaking, Wang Ziki added, Junior sister, I didn't expect this little comrade to be your younger sister. Because Wu Yenyun was somewhat stubborn, Wang Ziki had some impression of her. Wu Yenyun said, it's a small world, I didn't expect that you knew Sister Yang. And I Yang exclaimed in surprise, you know each other? Wu Yenyun looked at Mr. Du and succinctly said, Mr. Du has been kind to me. That 100 yuan really solved a lot of problems for the Wu family, and Wu Yenyun had already done as Mr. Du suggested, distributing that 100 yuan to those in need. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slab? What exactly the favor was, Ni Yang didn't ask further. But she was somewhat surprised. Because in all the time she had known Grandpa Du, she never knew he had a compassionate side. Although Grandpa Du practiced Buddhism, he had a fierce and violent demon living in his heart. Ni Yang said with a smile, so, it's like that, huh? Since everyone knows each other, there's no need to be reserved. Uh-huh, Wu Yenyun nodded. Seeing that it was almost time for dinner, Ni Yang went to cook, while Du Jiao Jiao, who had never cooked before, found the earthen stove intriguing. Rolling up her sleeves, she offered to help Ni Yang. In fact, the Ni family also had a gas stove, but Ni Yang felt that the food cooked on the gas stove wasn't as aromatic as that cooked on the earthen stove, so the Ni family always used the earthen stove. Ni Yang didn't refuse her offer, smiling and saying, Sister Jiao Jiao, then you can help me watch the fire. I've already started it, just add some wood if it looks like it's dying down. Sure thing, Du Jiao Jiao declared, patting her chest, leave it to me. Grandma Shengguan and Grandma Zheng were washing vegetables outside, everyone working well together, and soon the kitchen filled with enticing aromas. Yang, are we going to have roasted chicken for lunch? Your grandfather caught a wild chicken outside. It's still alive. And Tsuehua walked in, carrying a wild chicken. And Yang had just finished stir-frying a dish. Yes, definitely. Wild roasted chicken is the most fragrant. Du Jiao asked curiously, roasted chicken? Pretty lady, do you have an oven in your house? And Yang replied with a smile, no oven, but we have a natural oven. A natural oven? What's that? Du Jiao asked. And Yang kept it a secret, you'll see in a bit. And Tsuehua passed the wild chicken to Yang, then I'll go light the fire in the bread oven. Okay, and Yang took the chicken with one hand and the kitchen knife with the other, following Tsuehua towards the yard. Du Jiao followed Yang's footsteps. She had never seen a chicken being killed before. The bird was a male wild chicken with shiny feathers, almost as splendid as a little phoenix, extremely beautiful. Yang's hand moved, and the knife fell, fresh blood dripping from the chicken's neck into a bowl of salt water. Du Jiao gave a thumbs up. Pretty lady, your way of killing chickens is impressive. She had thought Yang wouldn't dare to kill a chicken. After all, it was a bloody scene indeed. Yang said with a smile, it's just a chicken, no big deal. Grandpa Du and Wang Ziki were playing chess at a stone table, multitasking, and when they heard her, Grandpa Du's lips curved slightly. Killing a chicken, for Yang, was indeed a small matter. After all, the person dared to swallow snake gall. Wang Ziki, a bit crude, didn't really know how to play Go, and in less than 2 games he was utterly defeated. Seeing Wu Yenyun approaching, he was like a man seeing rescue, waving at Wu Yenyun. Yenyun, come here a moment. Are you calling me? Wu Yenyun pointed at herself. Aha, Wang Ziki nodded. Wu Yenyun trotted over. Big brother Wang, you needed me? Wang Ziki stood up from the stone bench. Yenyun, why don't you play chess with Grandpa Du? I've lost quite a few games already. After saying this, Wang Ziki added, do you know how to play Go? A little, Wu Yenyun nodded. Then take over. Wu Yenyun nodded again, and leaned in to sit across from Grandpa Du. Wang Ziki truly didn't know how to play the game. He had made a mess of the chessboard, to the point where not even a professional player could turn it around, and Wu Yenyun's brow furrowed slightly. This game, without doubt, Wu Yenyun lost. The second game, Wu Yenyun lost again. Honestly, Wu Yenyun's skill in chess was not bad, but the person sitting across from her was Grandpa Du, who was like a war-hardened Azura, capable of killing without a trace. Before Wu Yenyun could respond, she was already sinking deep into the mire. Wu Yenyun racked her brains, but she couldn't turn the tables even once. Not everyone was Yang. Not everyone had Yang's skills in chess. After several games, a bored look appeared in Grandpa Du's eyes. He picked up the Buddha beads on his right and stood up. Ziki, you take over. Oh, Wang Ziki sat down again, only this time his opponent was Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun glanced at Grandpa Du, a flicker of unease in her eyes. Was it because Grandpa Du thought she was too dumb? But her chess skills were quite good among her peers. She had even won a school Go competition before. Distracted by her thoughts, this round she somehow let Wang Ziki, the complete amateur, win. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slab? _2. Yang and Du Jiao, holding the processed pheasants, came to the front of the bread oven and began to roast the chicken. Du Jiao said, Big beauty, so this is the natural oven you were talking about. Yang nodded. Du Jiao stroked her chin. I seem to have seen this abroad. While taking out the charcoal from the bread oven, Yang stuffed the pheasant inside. This was indeed passed down from abroad. Although it's not as convenient as a modern oven, it's much more useful because it uses applewood for the fire, so the food it roasts is much tastier than what you'd get from an oven. Du Jiao nodded, nonchalantly touched the charcoal with her hand, and pointed to the other side. Big beauty, what is that over there? HM? Yang turned to look. Du Jiao swiftly smeared her hand on Yang's face, leaving a black mark on that clear and handsome face, the contrast of white and black giving off a somewhat cunning appearance. Wow. Big beauty, your skin is so white and tender. Du Jiaojiao instantly turned into a drama queen. Unsuspecting, and Yang smiled, touching her face and spreading the black mark wider. Really? Du Jiaojiao held back laughter. Really, really? Your skin is as smooth as cream and so pretty. And Yang felt something odd about Du Jiaojiao but couldn't quite put her finger on it. She reached out and pinched Du Jiaojiao's face. Sister Jiaojiao, tell me, did you just play a trick on me? No. I really didn't. Du Jiaojiao earnestly denied. Do I look like the kind who would play tricks on people? From a distance, Di was watching them with a gentle smile on his face. Holding Buddha beads in his hand, he strolled over. Do you have a study room in your house? Study room? And Yang was momentarily stunned before replying, yes, we do. Let Duo take you there. No sooner had she finished speaking than Duo flew over from a nearby tree. Yi followed Duo forward. Wu Yenyun lost interest in playing chess and ran to Yang's side. Yang sis, I'm starting my senior year of high school. Can I borrow a set of review materials for the senior year? Of course. Yang nodded. I'll look for them this afternoon. Wu Yenyun smiled and said, no need, I can go to the study room and find them myself. All right, then go find them, Yang continued. Anyway, I won't be using those materials anymore. Take whatever you want. Oh, by the way, the senior year materials are all placed in the cabinet under the desk. Just look in the cabinet. Got it, Wu Yenyun nodded. Yang's study room was set up in a well-lit room on the second floor, with a creeper plant and some succulents on the balcony, everything clean and bright. The room was simply furnished with 4 rows of bookshelves, a desk, and a chair, with only a faint scent of ink and paper in the air. A book lay upside down on the desk with a pale red cover reflecting the English letters, Humboldt's Gift. This was Humboldt's Gift, a famous book from M country. To the left of the desk, there remained an unfinished cup of coffee. Those with a keen sense of smell could still detect a faint aroma of coffee, as if through these things they could envision the study's owner leisurely sipping coffee and reading books into the quiet of the night, their nearly transparent fingertips brushing over the pages, with nothing but the soft sounds of pages turning in the air. Yi picked up Humboldt's Gift and found it was all in English, without a single Chinese character, which made him raise his eyebrows in surprise. It seemed the person was much more than what he understood. Calm and collected, Yi strolled through the bookshelves. The books on the shelves were clearly categorized. 1 row for foreign classics, 1 for domestic classics, 1 for historical and biographical works, and another for collections of dramas. The transition from classic literature to drama revealed that the study's owner had a wide range of interests. Just then, footsteps sounded outside the study room. Was this person not trusting him? Di glanced back slightly and, unexpectedly, the person who came wasn't Yang but Wu Yenyun. Mr. Di gave a slight nod, subtly withdrew his gaze, and continued to select books. Wu Yenyun didn't speak further. She went to the desk and squatted down to look for her senior year review materials. After a little while, Di pulled out a copy of Diamond Sutra from the shelf and then walked out. As the footsteps grew distant, Wu Yenyun let out a soft sigh, sat on the floor, and stared out the window lost in thought. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slap? _3. Actually, she wasn't here for review materials at all. She didn't even know what was wrong with herself. After seeing Du Jiaojiao again, she couldn't help but want to be near him, even if they didn't speak. Just watching him filled her heart with satisfaction. If he spoke to her, or even just nodded, she would get so excited, inexplicably happy, happier than if she'd won first place in her grade. How strange. Wu Yenyun covered her face with her hands, took a deep breath, stood up, and casually picked up a book of ancient poetry from the shelf. She flipped a page and, with a quick glance, she thought she saw this line. The hill has wood, the wood has branches, my heart delights in you, but you do not know. Wu Yenyun slapped her own face hard. God, what was she thinking about? She couldn't go on like this. Du Jiaojiao was not someone she could even dare to think about. But the more she tried not to think about him, his face kept appearing before her eyes. With that thought, Wu Yenyun tiptoed and peered out the window into the courtyard. She saw Du Jiaojiao sitting under the osmanthus tree reading a book. He was wearing a robe, his legs crossed casually, a posture that seemed effortless yet had a fatally attractive pull. A gentleman's grace is like fine carving and polishing. Thump, thump, thump. Wu Nun clearly felt her heart beating stronger and stronger, her cheeks burning. She quickly shifted her gaze and crouched down to continue searching for review materials. Not caring whether the materials were useful or not, Wu Yenyun grabbed a stack and headed downstairs. After lunch, Du Jiaojiao hadn't forgotten about the rose field and pulled Ni Yang with her to take pictures in the rose field. Yenyun, do you want to join us? You could take photos of us. Du Jiaojiao looked at Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun glanced at Du Jiaojiao from the corner of her eye. I'm feeling a bit sleepy, so I won't go. You and Sister Yang Yang go ahead. Okay then, Du Jiaojiao turned to Wang Ziki. Ziki, do you want to come with us? Wang Ziki scratched his head. Sorry, second miss, I need to deliver some fertilizer to Grandpa Zheng in the eastern part of the village soon. Grandpa Zheng was now so absorbed in clearing new land that he spent at least 6 or 7 hours a day in the fields. Since coming to Jinghua village, his complexion had darkened several shades. Du Jiaojiao said worriedly, what should I do then? If no one goes, who will take photos for me? Ni Yang smiled and said, don't worry, Sister Jiaojiao, I can take them for you. Du Jiaojiao responded, but I wanted to take pictures with you too. Ni Yang continued, for joint photos, it's simple, we can set the camera to automatic shooting mode. Selfies won't look as good as photos taken by someone. Du Jiaojiao sounded slightly disappointed. I'll go with you. Du Jiaojiao put down the diamond sutra he had in his hands and walked over. Du Jiaojiao's eyes lit up, thinking she had heard wrong. Really? Du Jiaojiao nodded slightly. Great. Du Jiaojiao hooked her arm into Du Jiaojiao's. Let's go quickly then. Ni Yang followed behind them, and the three walked toward the rose field together. After a few steps, Ni Yang looked back at Wu Yenyun. The rose field ahead is really beautiful. Are you sure you don't want to see it? No, Wu Yenyun shook her head. She hadn't expected things to suddenly turn out this way. She wanted to go with them too, but she had spoken too hastily. If she changed her mind now, wouldn't it be too obvious? Wu Yenyun insisted on not going, so Ni Yang didn't press further. The trio quickly reached the rose field. Ni Yang, holding the camera, said, Big brother Du, Sister Jiaojiao, shall I take a picture of both of you together? Sure. Du Jiaojiao exclaimed excitedly, still hooked on Du Jiaojiao's arm, and struck a pose. Ni Yang took quite a few shots. Du Jiaojiao, like a tireless character from a story, kept changing poses and even picked a large bunch of roses. After a while, Du Jiaojiao was finally satisfied and passed the camera to Du Jiaojiao. Now it's your turn to take a joint photo of us. Du Jiaojiao nodded slightly. Du Jiaojiao then pulled Ni Yang in for more pictures. After a while, Du Jiaojiao set the camera to automatic shooting mode and said, this sort of opportunity is rare, so let's take a joint photo of the three of us. She didn't wait for Du Jiaojiao to agree. She fixed the camera in place, pulled Ni Yang, and hurried to Du Jiaojiao's side. Hurry, I only set it for 70 seconds. With a click, the camera captured the moment forever. By the time they returned from taking photos, it was already after 1 in the afternoon. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slap? _4. Du Yi and Jiaojiao didn't stay long, merely greeting the Ni family elders before leaving. After they left, Wu Yenyun found Ni Yang. Yang, sister. What's up? Ni Yang glanced back slightly. Wu Yenyun hesitated. I'm just curious, what's that Mr. Dust's name? How do you know him? Ni Yang didn't give it much thought. His name is Du Qingfeng, and he's a good brother of Brother Mo. Oh, I see. Wu Yenyun nodded. Qingfeng. So his name was Du Qingfeng. A name quite poetic and fitting to his demeanor. Time flew by quickly, and soon it was time for Ni Yang to report to Yihua University. Emo Chishan also returned just in time for the start of the term. On the day of school, Elder Zheng indeed intended to buy a truckload of firecrackers to fulfill a promise, but Ni Yang stopped him. Buying a truckload of firecrackers would not only be a waste of money but also pollute the environment. On the first day of school, Emo Chishan drove Ni Yang to the campus. Since Ni Yang was the national top scholar in sciences, Ewha University had even hung a banner over the campus gate. Ewha University's acquisition of the national top scholar in sciences had left other universities green with envy. Just yesterday, officials from other universities visited Jinghua village, hoping to poach Ni Yang. To show their appreciation for Ni Yang, the university leaders personally stood at the gate to welcome her. "Hello, principal. Hello, teachers." Ni Yang walked up with Emo Chishan. "Hello, Ni Yang." The principal extended his hand to Ni Yang and looked at Emo Chishan. "And this is?" Ni Yang said, "This is my boyfriend, Emo Chishan." Boyfriend? Ni Yang had a boyfriend? The top scholar in sciences had a boyfriend. Shock was evident in the eyes of the principal and other university leaders. In their eyes, good students should be busy studying, not falling in love. As long as her academic performance is good, nothing else would be surprising. After all, this was university, and having a relationship was hardly a big deal. Emo Chishan was also stunned. Being acknowledged as her boyfriend felt amazing. He had even been prepared to be referred to as Ni Yang's brother. He didn't expect to be publicly acknowledged. By the time they reached the girls' dormitory building, Emo Chishan was still dazed. "Brother Emo, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell?" Ni Yang tugged at Emo Chishan's sleeve. "It's nothing." Emo Chishan clasped Ni Yang's hand tightly. "I'm just too happy." "Happy? Happy about what?" Ni Yang slightly raised an eyebrow. This man was so strange. Just at the beginning of the term, with students bustling around the entrance of the girls' dormitory, Emo Chishan, already tall and wearing a crisp suit, stood out with his sharp features and an imperial aura, intimidating yet imposing, clearly a high-ranking elite, making him far more appealing than any college boy, as girls passing by couldn't help but stare. "He's so handsome. If he were my boyfriend, I'd probably wake up laughing from my dreams." "Get real, look at who's standing next to him. That's our university's national top scorer. Truly a match of equals in looks and talent." Ni Yang's room was on the third floor. Emo Chishan carried the suitcase on one shoulder and held Ni Yang's hand as they went upstairs. The dormitory was a standard room for 6, with beds above and space for desks and other stuff below. At that moment, there wasn't anyone else in the room. The bed by the window on the left was already taken, and there were belongings underneath, likely from a student who had arrived earlier because of the distance. "Yang, which bed do you want?" "This one." Ni Yang pointed at the first bed by the window on the right. "Okay." Emo Chishan nodded and began to make the bed. Despite never doing housework at home, Mo Chishan was adept at making beds. In no time, he had finished making the bed without Ni Yang even getting a chance to help. Truly a boyfriend attentive as one could be. Ni Yang placed a vase she brought from home on the desk, then inserted fresh roses into it. After setting up the dorm, and seeing that the other 5 roommates hadn't shown up yet, Ni Yang and Emo Chishan headed off campus to grab a bite. The 80s also had military training. The training lasted for a month, meaning, after today, Emo Chishan wouldn't see Ni Yang for a month. After dinner, Emo Chishan and Ni Yang went to watch a movie, and it wasn't until after 6 p.m. that Ni Yang returned to the dormitory. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slap? _5. At that time, 2 people had already arrived in the dorm. One was called Li Huilan, and the other was called Zhang Qiui. Ni Yang took out the gifts she had prepared in advance and distributed them to the 2. Because it was their first meeting and she didn't want to burden her roommates psychologically, Ni Yang had not prepared anything too expensive. The gifts were a box of delicate pastries. "Thank you, Ni Yang." Li Huilan and Zhang Qiuing smiled and thanked her. Actually, Li Huilan and Zhang Qiuing had known that a top national scholar would be coming to the dorm, but what they hadn't expected was that this scholar would be so warm-hearted. Which was not at all what they had imagined. No problem. By the way, Ni Yang, I also have something for you. Li Huilan took out a handful of red dates from her bag. These are specialty products from my hometown, and I've already cleaned them. Don't despise them. Li Huilan came from a rural area and was dressed very simply, her Mandarin tinged with a local accent. Ni Yang took the red dates with both hands, smiling. Red dates are great. Not only do they enrich the blood and improve qi, they also beautify the skin. I love eating red dates. Upon finishing speaking, Ni Yang tasted a red date. How does it taste? Li Huilan asked. Very sweet. Ni Yang nodded. Thank you, Huilan. You're welcome. Seeing the new roommate liked her gift, Li Huilan felt relieved. Li Huilan was the only college student from her village. On the day she left for Beijing, all the villagers, old and young, had come out to see her off at the edge of the village. On the way there, she was full of confidence, but after arriving in Beijing, she realized how insignificant she was, especially at Yihua University where everyone had high scores. Her score of 620 was nothing special here. Adding to that, the meeting gifts from Ni Yang and Zhang Qiuing were quite expensive, which made Li Huilan feel somewhat inferior and embarrassed about her red dates. Unexpectedly, neither Ni Yang nor Zhang Qiuing despised her. Zhang Qiuing also took out a gift and handed it to Ni Yang. Zhang Qiuing came from Yanjiao. Her family conditions were excellent, often traveling abroad, so the gift she gave was a silk scarf with Chanel letters on it. It was a famous luxury brand in the future. Ni Yang smiled and thanked her. After a while, the remaining 3 roommates also arrived. These 3 roommates were called Wang Lisha, Li Muzi, and Zhou Ling. Ni Yang passed the pastries to the 3 of them. Li Muzi and Zhou Ling happily accepted. Wang Lisha refused. Sorry, I have a toothache and can't eat sweets. You keep it for yourself. Ni Yang was never one to chase after those indifferent, and seeing Wang Lisha was somewhat difficult to get along with, she took back the pastry. Anyway, she wasn't planning to stay long in the dormitory. Regarding this issue, she had already discussed it with the principal before coming to Yihua University. She had attended college in her previous life and now also had a business to look after. Naturally, she wouldn't waste time at school. Attending examinations on time was enough, though she still had to participate in military training to avoid being criticized for seeking special treatment. Wang Lisha, these red dates are a special product from our place. Would you like to try some? Don't worry, I've cleaned them. Li Huilan offered the red dates to Wang Lisha. Wang Lisha glanced at Li Huilan. Could you please straighten your tongue and talk to me properly? After saying this, Wang Lisha also muttered under her breath, Country bumpkin. Li Huilan's face turned red, her hands stiff with embarrassment while still holding the red dates. Zhang Qiuing had a hot temper and immediately retorted, Huilan, these are great red dates, money can't even buy them. Why waste them on a dog? Who are you calling a dog? Wang Lisha's face reddened in anger. Zhang Qiuing smiled, whoever bites senselessly is the dog. No manners. Wang Lisha was so angry her chest heaved. Zhang Qiuing, linking arms with Li Huilan, said, Let's go, Huilan. Let's eat our dates and not stoop to a dog's level. Say that again. Wang Lisha charged up to them. Zhang Qiuing was not one to shy away from conflicts. Why not say it again? Some people seem decent, but they're worse than dogs. Wang Lisha was furious. Back home, she had always been the precious daughter, pampered by her parents. At school, she was the top student, adored by teachers and students alike. She didn't expect to face such humiliation on her first day in Beijing. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Do you want another slap? _6. Wang Lisha's blood pressure shot up to 180, and she raised her hand to slap Zhang Qiuing across the face. At that moment, a fair hand gently gripped her wrist. Looking up, Wang Lisha saw the face of the national top scorer. She knew Ni Yang all too well. It was Ni Yang who had shattered her myth. Had it not been for Ni Yang, she would have been the highest female scorer in the National University entrance exam. Ni Yang's emergence let her parents and classmates realize that there were even more outstanding female students in the world than her. "Let go of me." Ni Yang held Wang Lisha's wrist firmly, looking down at her with a calm yet resonant voice. "Wang Lisha, this is Yihua University, not your home. You need to watch your words and actions and consider the consequences. Have you thought about the consequences of slapping her?" According to the rules of Yihua University, assaulting or insulting a fellow student not only leads to a major demerit but also to severe cases, expulsion. During the 80s, unlike future decades, university rules were strict, focusing on unity and friendly relations among students. Hearing this, Wang Lisha's brow twitched. She indeed had been a bit impulsive. From the perspective of Zhang Qiuying and Li Huilan, Ni Yang looked incredibly cool in that posture. She sounded just like an elder reprimanding a disobedient younger relative. The national top scorer was really something. So imposing. And so, the conflict was resolved by Ni Yang. The next day marked the start of a 1-month military training. Military training in the 80s was different from later years. There weren't any camouflage uniforms back then, so everyone wore their own clothes, though they tried to keep a uniform color. The content of the military training was also different from later times, including necessary military postures, appearance, discipline, and bearing, but also training in digging trenches, bomb shelters, outdoor cooking, live ammunition firing, grenade throwing practice, and battlefield first aid, which weren't part of later military training. After a month, many students had become tanner and thinner, showing signs of exhaustion. But Ni Yang showed no changes, remaining fair as snow, elegant in demeanor, as if the grueling month hadn't left any mark on her. Zhang Qiuying exclaimed enviously, "Yang, your skin is just too good. You're still not tanned at all." Ni Yang smiled and replied, "Maybe it's because I choose good skincare products." She never forgot to promote Ice Skin Jade Beauty wherever she went. "What brand of skincare products are you using?" Zhang Qiuying was straightforward and hadn't noticed what Ni Yang was using. Hearing this, Wang Lisha, who had been about to leave, suddenly slowed her steps, listening intently to Ni Yang's response. Even though she didn't like Ni Yang much, what girl doesn't want to be beautiful? After a month of military training, her face had turned as dark as charcoal, and she feared even her parents wouldn't recognize her when she returned. Noticing Wang Lisha's subtle reaction, Ni Yang continued, "I use Ice Skin Jade Beauty. Their whitening moisturizer is really good." "Really?" asked Zhang Qiuying. Ni Yang nodded, then added, "But Ice Skin Jade Bowtie's whitening moisturizer is a limited product and usually hard to get. If you like it, I can bring some for you." "Oh yes, please do, Yang. And how much is it?" Zhang Qiuying eagerly nodded. Wang Lisha's lips curled into a sneer, her smile full of mockery. Hard to get? There was nothing in the world she couldn't buy. What was Ni Yang acting so grandiose about? Did she actually think she was awesome just because she was the national top scorer? Wang Lisha really despised those who, proud and arrogant from their achievements, thought the world couldn't go on without them. How hilarious! A month of military training ended, and the temperature in Beijing had dropped a lot too. Overnight, the temperature plummeted, and the streets were covered in a layer of frost. Ni Yang had forgotten to prepare her coat, but luckily, she was tough enough to withstand the cold. Just as she walked out of the school gate, she saw Mo Qishan leaning against the car door. Ni Yang walked around from behind and quietly covered Mo Qishan's eyes, deliberately changing her tone. "Guess who I am?" Mo Qishan turned around and pulled her into his arms, wrapping her with his coat. His coat was very large and wide, carrying a burning warmth. It could wrap at least more than 2 Ni Yangs. "Why are you wearing so little?" Mo Qishan's tone was deep. "I forgot to take my coat." Ni Yang stretched her arms around his waist, her icy hands contrasting starkly with the warmth of his body. Mo Qishan reproached himself, "It's my fault. I should have checked more carefully." Shortly after, both of them sat inside the car. "Brother Mo, how did you know it was me just now?" Ni Yang's imitated voice was incredibly accurate, indiscernible to most. Mo Qishan said seriously, "Because you are my wife, If I couldn't even recognize my own wife, would I still deserve to be your man? Tsk diskitse, and I Yang poked his face. Mr. Mo, is your face still there? As long as my wife is still here, that's enough. Then Mo Chishan added, right, Sister Xiaoxi is bringing her boyfriend home tonight. We should head back early. Though Mo Chishan was several years older than Shangguan Shi, calling her sister came so naturally to him. Hearing this, Ni Yang expressed her surprise. Sister Xiaoxi has a boyfriend? When did this happen? How come I didn't know? Shangguan Shi was a person of calm temperament. She would absolutely not bring a boyfriend home until everything was finalized. Mo Chishan slightly parted his lips, smiling, I'm not very clear on the details. Then you should drive faster. Maybe Sister Xiaoxi and her boyfriend are already home, Ni Yang urged. Just give me a kiss and it'll speed up. Mo Chishan, hands on the steering wheel, fixed his gaze ahead, his chiseled features seeming frosted over, truly appearing noble and aloof, yet his words were so playful. Who would believe that the mysterious Mr. Mog had such a side if they hadn't seen it themselves? Ni Yang leaned over and kissed his cheek. Who knew Mo Chishan would push his luck? One kiss isn't enough, give me another. Ni Yang indulged his small wish and kissed him again. With her soft lips pressed against his face, Mo Chishan's vanity swelled to its peak, proud of how well he had trained his wife to be so obedient. Which man could match his skills? He was truly incredible. Mo Chishan with a triumphant look, still not enough. More. Ni Yang with a smile, do you want me to slap you instead? Mo Chishan's brow twitched and he immediately sped up, showing his cowardice. Wife, I was wrong. The car sped swiftly, and in about half an hour, they arrived at the Ni family's courtyard. When Mo Chishan and Ni Yang got home, Shangguan Shi and the others hadn't returned yet, but the living room was already full of people. Shangguan Farong, Shangguan Su, and Su Lian had all come. After all, it was the first time Shangguan Shi was bringing a boyfriend home, and they needed to check him out. After all, this was a significant event in life. Curious, Ni Yang asked Grandma Shangguan, Grandma, who is Sister Xiaoxi's boyfriend? Do you know? Grandma Shangguan shook her head. The child just said she would bring her boyfriend home today, but she wouldn't say who. Don't worry, Tong, I reckon they should arrive soon. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Astonishing result. Shangguan Shi talked about having a boyfriend, and it really whet everyone's appetite. After a while, Shangguan Shi finally appeared with her boyfriend in front of everyone. The young man looked spirited and was carrying both big and small packages in his hands. Aitsue Hua stood up to take the items from him and smiled. You didn't have to bring anything. Shangguan Shi said, I told him not to buy anything, but he insisted. By the way, Zuoling, this is my mom. Zuoling politely said, Hello, Auntie. Upon hearing this, Ni Hua's smile froze for a moment, then she quickly returned to normal. Hello. Shangguan Shi continued to introduce, This is my grandma, this is my maternal grandfather and grandmother, this is my dad, this is my aunt, this is my elder brother Shangguan Su, this is my younger sister Yangyong, this is my sister's boyfriend Mo Chishan, and this is my younger sister Yunyun. Zuoling greeted everyone one by one. Hello everyone, I'm Zuoling, the Zua from left and Ling from ridge. Zuoling. When this name was clearly heard, not only did Ni Hua's face change slightly, but also the expressions of elder Madame Shangguan, Shangguan Dehui, and Shangguan Su. Who was Zuoling? Zuoling was the young man with 7 older sisters. But the Shangguan family members were quite dignified and, despite having opinions, did not show it. Elder Madame Shangguan took a sip of water, feeling quite uneasy. She had not expected Shangguan Shi to bring Zuoling back. Hadn't they broken up already? Please, have a seat, and Aitsue Hua called Zuoling to sit down. Su Lian, unaware of the situation, was quite satisfied with Zuoling's appearance. How old are you this year, Xiaozua? Zuoling politely said, Aunt, I'm 23 this year, and I was classmates with Xiaoxi. Su Lian nodded. I see, so you have started working as well? Zuoling replied, Yes, Aunt, I have been working for over a year now. I'm currently the workshop director at Morning Light Group, earning a monthly salary of 130 yuan. Having a decent job and being in a director position was Zuoling's greatest pride. Among over 50 classmates, Zuoling currently had the highest salary and the most prestigious position. Thus, he had the capital to feel proud, and he could sense that the Shangguan family members had a very favorable impression of him. Su Lian smiled and said, "Very good, very good." Being only 23 years old and capable of handling the job of a workshop director was indeed commendable. Su Lian wasn't someone who cared too much about matching social status. She just wanted Shangguan Shi to be happy. Shangguan Furong joined in the conversation with a smile. "Xiaozua, where are you from?" "I'm from Beijing," Zuoling continued. "I live right in the city center on Gillett Road. My parents are getting older, and I set aside 30 yuan from my salary every month to hire a nanny for them." Shangguan Furong nodded. "You are a good child with filial piety." After chit-chatting for a while, it was time to eat. In the kitchen, Mrs. Zheng quietly tugged at elder Madame Shangguan's sleeve and whispered, "That young man Zuoling seems quite nice. Why do you look a bit unhappy?" Zuoling had thick eyebrows and large eyes, very energetic, and he was also distinctive-looking, which was why he had caught Shangguan's eye. Elder Madame Shangguan sighed, glancing towards the door. "Do you know who this Zuoling is?" "Who?" Mrs. Zheng was baffled. Elder Madame Shangguan continued, "He's Xiaoxi's ex-boyfriend, the one with 7 older sisters." "What?" Mrs. Zheng looked surprised. "I thought they broke up? Why did she bring him back home?" Elder Madame Shangguan frowned slightly. "Who knows what Xiaoxi is thinking?" Seeing Zuoling about to come into the kitchen to fetch dishes, Elder Madame Shangguan quickly added, "Well, talk later. It's not good to let others overhear." "All right," Mrs. Zheng nodded. Emo Chishan was followed into the kitchen by Zuoling, brother. Zuoling tried to pat Emo Chishan on the shoulder but withdrew halfway because there was a significant height difference between them. Emo Chishan was nearly 1.9 meters tall, and he was just a bit taller than Shangguan Shi at 1.75 meters. Zuoling jogged to keep up with Emo Chishan's pace and whispered, "I heard you've been dating Xiaoxi's younger sister for over a year, is that right?" "Yes." Emo Chishan nodded slightly. "That's correct." Based on Shangguan Zai's introduction, Emo Chishan currently did not have an official job, but whenever Zuoling saw Emo Chishan, he felt a wave of inexplicable inferiority and fear, constantly feeling less excellent than Emo Chishan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Astonishing results _2. Aside from not being as good-looking as Emo Chishan, he had a higher education, better job, higher salary, and his family's conditions weren't bad either. What was there to feel inferior about? What was there to fear? Was it all just an illusion? "Bro, I heard you don't have a formal job yet. How about I introduce you to work at our company? We are currently short of 2 general workers, and the salary and benefits are especially good. Although our company recruits based on academic credentials, with me around, you don't have to worry. The HR department will definitely consider my recommendation, and I'll have them arrange a more relaxed job for you." It was Zuoling's first time visiting, so naturally he wanted to establish a good relationship. In this family, only he and Emo Chishan were outsiders. Therefore, the first person he wanted to win over was Emo Chishan. Emo Chishan didn't have formal employment, and if Zuoling threw him an olive branch, Emo Chishan would surely grasp it tightly. Then, in the company, he would be Emo Chishan's supervisor, and Emo Chishan would be at his beck and call. "Thanks for the offer, but no need," Emo Chishan politely declined. Zuoling didn't expect Emo Chishan to actually turn him down, thinking to himself that this guy really aimed high. He had no notable education, yet he looked down on being a general worker. How did such a pretty future sister-in-law fall for someone like him? He himself was in such good standing but didn't have such romantic luck. Really strange. Zuoling encouraged Mo Chishan, "Bro, don't look at me now as the workshop supervisor. I also started from being a general worker and worked my way up step by step. As long as you're willing to put in the effort, I believe that one day you too can become a workshop supervisor or even a higher-ranking leader. Who could get fat on one breath?" Mo Chishan politely smiled. Since Mo Chishan didn't continue the conversation, Zuoling couldn't say much more, and the two entered the kitchen. Grandma, Granny, you've worked hard. Mo Chishan wasn't prone to jests in front of outsiders, but he was a sweet talker with his family, and with just a few words, he made both Grandma Shangguan and Granny Jing very happy. Seeing this, Zuoling frowned subtly. He was somewhat displeased with Mo Chishan's behavior. Wasn't a man supposed to be manly? What was this smooth talking all about? Aunt 6, no need for you to serve the dishes. You can go and rest with Xiaozhua, said Grandma Shangguan. Just as Zuoling was about to respond, pleased with Grandma Shangguan's suggestion, he heard Mo Chishan say, "It's okay, Granny. Well, do it." So, Zuoling had no choice but to join Mo Chishan in serving the dishes. Dinner was lavish. Although the Shangguans lived in the countryside, the meal was better than what his family usually had, which surprised Zuoling. It seemed the Shangguan family had prepared this especially to welcome him. During the meal, Zuoling occasionally offered food to Shangguan Shi. The two had been together for over 3 years, and Zuoling was very familiar with Shangguan Zai's tastes. Su Lian and Shangguan Furong noticed this detail and showed satisfaction in their eyes. After dinner and a little more sitting, Shangguan Shi walked Zuoling back. Just stepping out the door, Zuoling noticed a small sedan parked at the doorstep and asked in surprise, "Xiaoxi, whose car is that?" Shangguan Shi nonchalantly said, "I think it's from the television station." Because Shangguan Dehui had previously instructed her, during her school days, Shangguan Shi had deliberately concealed her family background. No one knew she came from a wealthy household, not even Zuoling. The television station? Zuoling was puzzled. Shangguan Shi continued, "Didn't my sister top the high school exams this year? That car belongs to a journalist who came to interview her, but something broke and it can't start, so it's been parked here. In a few days, the station will send someone to tow it away." High school exam top scorer. Zuoling was even more surprised. "Your sister is the top scorer for the high school exams." "Yes," nodded Shangguan Shi. "Then your sister really lacks judgment, having such a boyfriend as a high school exam top scorer," Zuoling said. "Didn't she become foolish from reading too much? What of being a high school exam top scorer? After all, she chose a boyfriend with neither education nor a job. That showed high school exam top scorers were nothing special after all." Shangguan Shi replied with a serious face, "Don't talk nonsense. Yang Yang is the smartest person in our family. Moreover, if my sister chose Mo Chishan, he must have something exceptional about him. And I also think Mo Chishan is much more than he seems. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Astonishing results _3. Alright, I'll stop talking," Zuoling said with a playful smile, hugging Shangguan Zai's shoulders. A smart boyfriend would never argue with his girlfriend. He just needed to be clear in his heart. "That's more like it," Shangguan Shi responded. "Okay, you should head back now. They'll see you at work tomorrow." Zuoling hopped onto his bicycle. "Then he'll be going first." Shangguan Shi watched as Zuoling's figure disappeared into the night, then turned and walked into the house. "Grandma, Grandpa, Grandma, Mom and Dad, little aunt, great aunt, what did you think of my boyfriend at first impression?" "Not very good," the old Mrs. Shangguan put down her chopsticks. "Xiaoxi, didn't you say you broke up with Zuoling?" Hearing the news of her breakup with Zuoling had been a relief for old Mrs. Shangguan. However, Shangguan Shi brought him back in no time. "We did break up before, but Zuoling kept begging me, so I just..." She and Zuoling had been together for 3 years. It wasn't something that could simply be dropped. Plus, Zuoling himself didn't have any shortcomings, and they were each other's first love, old Mrs. Shangguan continued. "I think you two should end it sooner rather than later." "Mom, I think this young man Zuoling is quite good." Shangguan Furong joined in. Su Lian said, "You don't like Zuoling?" "I also think Zuoling is quite good." Old Mrs. Shangguan sighed. "Actually, I'm not the kind of person who cares about families being well-matched, but your great-aunt, do you know what Zuoling's family situation is?" "Zuoling has 7 older sisters. His parents are almost as old as I am." She continued, nowadays, family planning is so strict, workers can only have one child. What if Xiaoxi marries into their family and the first child is a daughter? Would Zuoling's family let it go? The fact that Zuoling's mother had given birth to 8 children proved she was no gentle character. Ordinary women, who could give birth to 8. Hearing this, Su Lian's smile stiffened. Shangguan Furong's expression also changed as she turned to look at Shangguan Shi. Xiaoxi, your grandma is right. You can't marry into such a family. It's hard to find a 2-legged frog in this world, but men with 2 legs are everywhere. With your qualifications, what kind of man can't you find? Why fixate on Zuoling? Su Lian nodded. Yes, Xiaoxi, I also think your little aunt is right. Su Fan had passed away early. Raised by Su Lian because Shangguan Su and Shangguan Shi couldn't find her, as an aunt, she didn't want Shangguan Shi to marry into such a complicated family. Marriage and dating were not the same. Marriage faced many more practical issues. Shangguan Shi indignantly said, Grandma, little aunt, great aunt, you are thinking too far. We aren't even married yet, and you're already thinking about children. Moreover, the person who had 8 children isn't Zuoling. Zuoling is just the child who was born. He didn't choose his birth, and just because his parents favor boys over girls doesn't mean Zuoling is the same way. Shangguan Shi was a reasonable person. She felt it wasn't fair to impose the problems of Zuoling's parents on Zuoling. Not only do your grandma and they disagree, your mom and I disagree as well, Shangguan Dehui timely stated. Xiaoxi, you can date Zuoling, but you can't regard him as your marriage partner. Some people might be qualified boyfriends, but that didn't necessarily make them qualified marriage partners. Shangguan Dehui was a university professor after all. He saw things more clearly than most and was much more forward-thinking. It was the 80s after all. Breakups and makeups were normal. Why? Shangguan Shi frowned slightly. The great man once said, all dating that doesn't aim for marriage is hooliganism. Your thinking is wrong. How could one treat dating as child's play? Shangguan Dehui continued, I disagree not just because of his family issues. This young man, Zuoling, is too impetuous, lacks stability, and his words reveal a self-satisfied tone. I think the two of you aren't suitable. For instance, just now, Su Lian only asked whether Zuoling had started working, but Zuoling went on to clearly state his position and monthly salary. Moreover, when Shangguan Furong asked where his family lived, he even mentioned hiring a nanny. Dad, you are too prejudiced against Zuoling. Shangguan Shi continued. I've known Zuoling for over 3 years. I know what kind of person he is. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.